I'd like to begin with a fact.
Nice. Trying to do. Yeah. That's what we're trying to do. Absolutely. My buddy, Brother Burks, we're going to talk about him a little bit. He's a DJ out of Chattanooga. I'm starting to get into producing right now too, so be on the lookout for that. But he's wanting to get sponsored by Coors.
Dude, yeah. Dude,
like, like Taboo, Taboo's like sponsored by PBR.
It's
so he always has a PBR talking when he plays, and then eventually, like when he gained traction, he told about all his following and stuff, and they're like, "Yep, sponsored."
It's the best way to do it because we're going. All right, cool. Well, episode 96 of Millennialistic. We're here with the boy Martine, and we're just getting right into it, dude. We're talking, dude. I think that's the best way though to do a sponsorship is like because if you already fucks with the product,
right,
and like then it's just like you don't even care about a monetary.
Right, you're already doing it.
Like we're
already doing it. You just want to make sure it's okay with them type deal.
Right.
And if the bonuses come with it because you gain traction and stuff, then
you don't have to send $1,000 a show. If you want to send me some free PBR,
man, my Samsung is so badass. I love this phone.
Coors Light, send us some shit.
Yeah.
I was gonna do beer. It'd take me a minute to figure out what beer I wanted to get, sponsored by.
Honestly, I'd take any of them.
But you're not picky with beer. Actually, you are picky. You're like, I like. Closest to water is what I like.
I'm like non-picky.
I'm the guy who's like, oh, that's a nice hint of rosewood or whatever the fuck's in it. I like.
So I learned like the ABV and all the different like things. Like there's like beer snobs out there. It's almost like like the sommeliers or whatever, or sommelier. I think this one's called sommelier.
Where are those?
Hold on.
Are those the wine experts? Or
exactly. They basically have that for like craft beer.
Yeah,
like people know and stuff too. So
I found that Montucky's are the closest to like
the cold snacks.
Yeah. I actually like those to be honest.
Yeah, they taste delicious.
Yeah, they're definitely really good. Pretty sure it's local to here too, like area.
For some reason, I assumed it was either Kentucky or Montana. That's what I was thinking it came from.
Yeah.
I mean, is that weird?
I think you're on the right track. Or somewhere in between, like exactly in between those two states. That's a good question. Hold on. Let's think about it. But Martine, dude, thanks for coming on, bro. We're like stoked to have you on.
Thanks for having me back.
Well, yeah, dude. Yeah.
It's been a hot minute.
Martine was one of our very, very, very first guests. Like episode 17 or something, probably.
This is back in the quarantine
days. This was back during the corona.
That was when the virus was killing everyone.
Yeah.
And we all got vaccinated to not get COVID.
Yeah, so got my documentation.
Just to get into the bar.
All right, you too. Which do we have to
everything was like freaking like Eastern or like Eastern European or Western European like freaking like have your papers after midnight type shit. Like the whole world shut
That's
down.
why
they had the blockade on like driving and shit. There was a curfew. It was crazy.
Wild, dude. Broadway shut down for like 2 weeks, and then they were like, "Wait, no, fuck this. We ain't shutting down."
Right.
This is America, and we got the right to drink beer.
The only Corona they knew came in a 12-ounce bottle.
And we sell them for $18. But hell yeah, well definitely want to get into it. We know that you've been working hard on the Astral project.
Well, yeah, I've been like really promoted and whatnot too. The boys at Lucid Minds, they've really been grinding hard ever since the last one last year. And they're doing it at a whole new venue this time. It's going to be at Short Mountain Distillery, which you guys know that
our friends out there,
refugees and whatnot. So
Greenway
now, that's what it's turned into. But so Lucid Minds, Astral Project, the festival itself used to be at Further Farms for the first 2 years. This is the third year, and it's only been like gaining traction more and more each year. Like very small festival. I think it's got like 1,000-person cap out. But out here now they have like all the grounds to do what they want to do. We were pretty limited at the space we were at before.
Or was it before?
Further Farms here in Ashland City.
Wait, that's the one that's at Ashland City?
Yeah.
I thought it was like
Sacred Hive done like double ween events out there and stuff like that. There's been quite a few different
events.
What's
way out? What's out east? Is there one that's out east? Not Chattanooga quite, but like
Oh man, you're thinking of I think that's Red Boiling Springs or what is I think that's what it was.
damn, I'm getting
Where they did
confused.
Sacred Hive Sound Haven.
Oh, that's what I'm
couple
thinking
years
of.
ago.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking of.
And
Yeah.
then there's not like Jace Land, which is down towards like Columbia, Tennessee. So it's like southwest from here. But
Yeah.
that's where like they've done a few of them out there. I think that's where the original one was done. Yeah.
But when you're not doing that, you said you just got an RV?
Yeah,
Oh,
so
yeah.
so we just went
Sweet
down.
baby
Yeah,
Jesus.
me, my girlfriend, my homie, we flew out to St. Petersburg. Well, flew into Orlando to go to St. Pete to pick up an RV.
Oh, yeah.
So yeah, I ended up getting a nice little deal on that. One of my buddies, like, he got it from Lost Lands, like, bought it off somebody basically out there. in the
Hey
parking
man,
lot.
I'll trade
It's like,
you.
yeah, like pretty much like that got it for
Oh,
like,
yeah.
you know, $5,000 or something. And then
Well, but you know what you're doing mechanically. Like,
Yeah,
you know your way around
yeah.
a car.
yeah, so yeah, growing up in Michigan, like everything, like, you know,
Yeah.
suburbs of Detroit City, everybody knew about cars. Like my dad taught me to work on every car that I ever owned. Like,
Yeah.
you know, so that's like one of the things that's really saved money. Like my roommate, she freaking got in a car accident like I don't know, probably like about a month ago now. Yeah, somebody was pulling an illegal U-turn, was backing up and didn't see her and backed right in front of her while she was driving. And of course their insurance didn't cover it and whatnot. So she was kind of out.
Oh,
And so like what would have cost like
way.
3,500 in a body shop minimum. I went and got the parts at the junkyard.
Minimum.
Yeah, got the parts
Yeah.
at the junkyard, like pull your part and whatever, like $300 worth of parts, painted it all, like saying I did it properly, like, because everybody was working on cars when I grew up in Michigan, like, you know, whether it was bodies, sound systems, or, you know, engine work. And,
Part of the
and so
Detroit
I, like,
culture.
yeah, I'll say, yeah, and I was able to like learn a little bit about it from everybody and then do all the stuff myself. So I ended up doing that for her car. And like, you can't even tell, dude. Like you look at, like, if you get close to it, there's like one little
You can kinda
spot
see
where the
it.
fender doesn't match up to the headlight, but it's literally off by like a quarter inch. But like I was walking
It
up
looks,
to
it looks.
yeah, I was like walking up to it the other night and like, you know, from like not even 50 feet away, like the bumper and stuff, like you can't even tell that like I did it all with a spray paint can, but you know,
No
that's
shit.
yeah, like
Yeah,
I
that
did,
you
like
gotta
I sanded it down, primered it, and like did it all in layers like you're supposed to, like, you know, auto body, that's what they do is like little bits by little bits, and it takes like a week process to do it.
Right, 'cause you gotta let it dry.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
sit and all
Otherwise,
that.
you get the drips and stuff like that, and
Right.
like you can't tell. And like I got it done. It looks great. She's really happy
Yeah,
about it.
dude.
It's like did it for like, you know, a tenth of the cost or 100th of the cost, really, because
Yeah.
$350 versus like 3,500.
Jeez,
See, that's why I wish I was like handy, because
Yeah.
like I break something. in
Cars
my-
are like HVAC units. I wish I knew how to work on HVAC
Right.
units, because that's another thing that can be like, oh well, there's $8,000 that you gotta like go replace this whole fucking thing.
Right. It's ridiculous. Yeah.
Like everything, like there's a lot of shit around the house I feel like I could figure out. Yeah, like electrical shit I don't fuck with, plumbing shit I don't fuck with. Like, none of that.
Yeah,
What
those are gonna
do
be
you
the
fuck
tier that
with?
cause
I
really
need like outdoors things. and
Yeah,
like
that
simple
makes sense,
indoor
'cause-
stuff. Yeah.
because
Your profession,
Yeah,
yeah.
that's what I do. That's what I do.
Yeah.
But shit, yeah. But so where's your home? Are you down in Chattanooga now? Or are you back in
Yeah,
Nashville?
I'm back in Nashville now.
It's a nice little
Yeah.
spot.
Yeah.
I went there a few
Oh,
weeks
okay.
ago. We kicked it.
Yeah.
I was like,
What's
man,
what brought you back to Nashville?
Well, basically just like work.
Yeah.
Honestly,
Mhm.
because like I went down to Chattanooga and I was gonna start doing like the chef thing again.
Oh yeah.
And it just didn't pay what like I'm worth.
Nashville. Yeah.
Yeah, and Nashville
Yeah.
like really kind of spoiled me on that. Excuse me, but you know the cost of living is cheaper in Chattanooga
Sure,
significantly.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
But
Especially since you left, dude. This last
Right.
couple of years has gone a little wonky, bro.
yeah, yeah. So like
It's
coming back,
gone.
I was blessed with like a really good roommate situation. One of my friends I've known for several years. We got a nice little spot, and she's kind of like she's been there for a long time. So like we're grandfathered in, got a good rent on it and
Nice.
everything. Yeah, so like
That's
pretty cool with that. How we happened to like kind of stumble across that, but when I was down in Chattanooga, there's just like no work everywhere because it's like everybody you have to know somebody to kind of get in, and like you know I have a lot of friends and stuff and connections out there, but it's just like when it comes down to it, I didn't feel like I was gonna get paid what I am worth. You know?
Yeah.
And then
yeah.
I really started, you know, focusing more on the music stuff, production stuff too. So like came back up here, got a gig with like Ride Out Staging. So Ride Out Staging production, they do huge events like I said, Bridgestone, all that.
Is
Not
that
just
what Boogie
concerts.
But Boogie does like just random
He
gigs.
works with a different one, yeah, a different company. There's a bunch of them. There's like in Chattanooga, there's actually a union for stagehand workers.
Oh, no shit.
Yeah, which is crazy. The union in the South, you know.
Damn.
They know what happened to Papa, you know. They know where to find his remains. I'm just kidding. But maybe, who knows? But I know, so I have a few friends that work in down there. There's another company called Helm. They did this stuff for like the Super Bowl and stuff last year. So I had friends that did that.
So what would be like? All right, so what's a career that are like, man, I wish I could do this versus like, because there's everything like we're trying to do now, but what's your like your dream career? Like if you could take a complete different path, like
Honestly, man, I would honestly really like to open another restaurant again, type deal. But with that being said, it's just like you're always going to be tied to it and it's going to take a lot of your time. So as I sat back and kind of thought about it more, I think what I'd really like to do is just start my own like artist hospitality company. That's kind of what I've been doing with, you know, a few of the events that I've worked before. That's actually how I got into working festivals was, you know, back in 2013. I went to Bonnaroo. That's my first camping festival, which was really awesome experience, but I was working it and I was working for company, the fine dining restaurant on Murfreesboro 5 Cents.
yeah, I remember.
And
Yeah.
they cater Bonnaroo. They've been doing a Bonnaroo for over 10 years now, doing the artist hospitality, and they do the
And their
VIP,
food
platinum
is-
VIP. And, yeah, so it's like a fine dining experience, like
That's
you know,
dope as shit.
yeah, Mitchell Murphy and Andrew Deason. Mitchell Murphy's the owner, and Andrew Deason like helps run it. Mitchell, you know, he really knows his thing about food and stuff. Like he went to CIA and Hyde Park, New York, which is Culinary Institute of America. There's only 2 locations in the US, the other one's in Napa Valley. But he went there, and that's where I learned a lot like the French technique with food, but he does it with Southern fare. And like he also likes to do like world dishes. Like they always have something from like different regions. That's what they really like to do. So I elevated my cooking back in
I'm
2013.
telling you, 2020 quarantine.
Mhm.
We just lucked out because like we got first picks. I've told you this story before, but we got first picks of all the food at the restaurant. We're like, it's gonna get spoiled. You guys come in, grab what you want. We filled up my car with everything.
Shit, yeah.
Like we had enough food for ourselves, but like
Other
we
people.
also were able to feed some.
Yeah.
Because 20, like people were just like cycling out of that house.
Well,
like
I
we'll stay a
remember,
week or two, and
Yeah.
I remember during
It was
that time
awesome.
you started making your own bread too.
Yeah.
sourdough
so-
pizza.
yeah,
Yeah,
I started
sourdough, I was
making
making
my own bread.
pizzas.
Yeah.
And I remember I go by like every week to just get a loaf of bread. You know, it's so good.
Right,
Dude.
yeah, it was fun.
And it was like people were buying bread off the shelf.
Right,
So
exactly.
suddenly a loaf of bread was $12, and you're like, shit, I gotta go to Martine's.
Right, I got like more bread than I knew what to do with. It was just donation based.
You know, remember the logos like.
Yeah.
You know what's a shame though is when you made all those fire ass pickles and we had that big get together.
Yeah.
Like when Bonnaroo got canceled and we all like just did our own thing.
Yeah.
And we had all those canisters of pickles.
Yeah, I had like freaking 5 gallons of
And you had just
different
different-
5 gallon buckets of pickles.
Different experimental like flavors and they
Yeah.
were all so good. And we were
I
having
remember that.
we were all having such a good time at that house that we all just forgot about it. Like
Mhm.
everyone left, went back to their different states and houses and homes and whatnot. And we had all the pickles there.
Yeah, the
like,
moonshine pickles too. They were like stronger than the whiskey you chase it with.
You did like a jalapeno pickle or
Yeah.
something.
He had,
It was
like,
really fire.
Yeah, sriracha,
Garlic aioli
yeah, the
pickles.
sriracha ranch. No,
they
baby.
were so good.
That was wild.
Yeah.
Ah,
Good times.
it was great. It was fantastic.
That
But,
was a fun,
shit,
fun time.
COVID. Bonnaroo is your first festival?
Yeah, well, first
First
camping festival.
first
My first
camping.
actual festival was like 2004 Ozfest in Detroit, Michigan.
Yeah.
Which was really
Who
cool.
headlined?
My dad took us to that. Well, it was, of course, Black Sabbath.
Oh, yeah.
God, I'm so jealous.
Zach Wild. There was Rob Zombie. He was
Oh,
there. There was who else? I'm trying to think. We got Iron Maiden, of course, was there. Like
Oh,
that was
yeah.
pretty cool. Like, and that was like Iron Maiden. It was pretty funny because like the lead singer like freaking was running up the stairs waving the British flag, and he tripped on his own flag up the stairs. And like it was such an experience too. Like my dad took me and 4 of my friends, and 2 of them upgraded their tickets because we had lawn tickets. And before the show, they bought their own tickets. My dad's like, "Well, just get it off scalpers." And you know, my dad gets scalper tickets. We go up there, and only one of them scans. So my dad's like, "You wait right here on the fence." And he goes out, and he finds the scalper, walks him all the way up to the fence. Is like, "You gotta scan all these tickets till I get one for going there with my son," type shit. And, like, you guys know my dad. He's just like, he's on business.
Money,
That's
mess with his money. That's money, Mike.
Mr. T, he pities the fool, you know. But
Shout
yeah,
out.
yeah. So yeah, he ended up getting in, and my friends upgraded their tickets because we just had lawn tickets, and so me and my one friend that didn't upgrade our ticket, my dad, he's off hanging out like with all the older biker dudes and shit smoking weed. Yeah, they're just sitting there talking and shit and whatnot, watching the thing, but. We're sitting on the lawn. This lady from Ticketmaster comes over. She's like, "You guys want to upgrade your tickets?" And we're like, "Oh, we don't." We're right between the lawn and the amphitheater. It's at the DTE Pine Knot Theater amphitheater, and like we're sitting there on like the little cement walkway there, kind of like how Sen has one between the grass and the chairs, right?
Yeah.
So we're sitting there, and this lady comes up. "You want to upgrade your tickets?" We're like, "Well, we don't really have money to kind of spend on them." She's like, "Oh, they're free," and I was like, "Okay." She's like, "How many you have?" And I was like, "Well, 3 of us, because my dad." She's like, "Okay," gives us 3 tickets, and they end up being like front row, left of center, like on the left side of the center, like 5 seats in. So like I got guitar pick, I got Steve Harris, who's the bass player and songwriter for Iron Man. I got Sweatband. Who was it? Dave Murray, the guitarist for Iron Man. I got one of his guitar picks. He handed off the pick stand for me. Like he was between songs, like
you're like, no. Where's the pick of
got the
destiny?
set list. I got the set list. Like that was like a really cool experience. And I was like, dude, that's not like I want to go to the rock shows and festivals all the time. And like I was 16 years old, and that was fucking awesome.
Yeah.
And then first camping festival, say especially with my dad is like one of those memories. Like he's still like
that's a core memory for sure, dude.
And then so like going back to the first camping festival that was Bonnaroo, and I was working it, and 5 cents of them do like the arts hospitality and stuff now too. So it's pretty cool because like my first experience was at this hot ass summer festival that just like it.
Wasn't it
Bonnaroo, like that well I camped in the Thunderlifts, like right next to the general store. I was in Tent City.
Oh, no.
Like,
I'm thinking about. Sorry, I was asking about the first festival we went to. What was it like in one of those giant parking lots, like on concrete, or was it like out in the field?
You're talking about
Ozfest? Yeah, Ozfest.
Yeah, no, it's at an amphitheater. So there's a big parking lot stuff, and then you go out there. It wasn't a camping festival though. It's just like a day festival, like a bunch of artists, like not just a show. So there's multiple stages. It's pretty cool. Like one of the parking lots had like the stage, and they had the amphitheater stage. But and like FYE, I don't know if you guys remember that, like Further Entertainment, the little stores like Sam Goody type thing. Yeah. They had a booth where you could like first, and like all these artists would be playing, and like first X amount of people buy the album of this artist, which were all the up and comers, or like Norwegian death metal bands and stuff like that. At first X amount of people buy CD, gets to meet and greet the band, gets shit signed. So I got to meet Arch Enemy. I bought one of their albums, which is really cool. But yeah, it was just like that was my first like festival.
That's the first little taste.
But and then I went to a camping festival, which was the first one was Bonnaroo 2013, and like that was just like hot, dusty, middle of a giant field, like, and you're talking like what, 80,000 people, 70,000 people, dude. Yeah, and it's just like wild, right? And so I'm out there, getting my toes real wet, like get baptized in it. But I was lucky enough to be working the festival too, like and having a VIP wristband. Like we had day passes because I had to go work shifts each day. Right. So I'd go into the VIP. I could take air conditioned showers, air conditioned bathrooms, like, and then like I was working a food vending place, so I had food taken care of. So it was like a blessing, because I've been out there erupted before. I went to Bonnaroo like 3 years later when I wasn't working with that company anymore. I went to enjoy myself. Got work off last minute, bought a wristband from somebody at a gas station. Like I was just like, I have to go like to Bonnaroo this my sister was like, "Oh, all right, I'll drop you off out there." I was like, "Yeah, just take me to a gas station." I went to a gas station, had a backpack with my tent roll on it. I had like one of those travel neck pillows. Like I didn't even have a national pillow. I had a case of beer in one hand, a handle of whiskey in the other. And I was walking from that freaking gas station after I found this old farmer dude had a ticket. I got it for $150 because it was already Friday. And I got dropped off out there. It's Friday. I got it for $150. And I started walking. And I walked all the way from that gas station down the backfield, like going towards staff camping and shit. I was walking past the cornfield. I finally get in, walk through, like they didn't check nothing on me because I was just walking and I'm carrying everything. And I get into like, the basically outside center room. So I'm in the campground. And these guys have been doing golf cart shuttles the whole way back and forth. And this one old man, he looked like Santa Claus. And it's like everybody called him Santa. He had this rooster riding up front with him too. In the car, and I can't make this shit up. Like, and he like stops. He's like, "You need a ride?" I was like, "Man, I don't really have much money. I just came out here to meet some friends and meet my friends and stuff and have a good time." Blah blah blah. And like walked out there with my shit, and he's just like, "Well, hop on in, I'll give you a ride for free. There's only one spot, it's right up here next to the chicken. I'm like, all right, so I jump
Pet
in.
chicken.
Yeah, I know. And we ride. He takes me up to like the general store, drops me off where my friends are camping, and I just went on with my weekend. It was a really good like waking experience, like being out there with pretty much nothing, like seeing what you can make of it, and it was still just a great time.
Yeah,
So,
the first time I went, I described it. Someone was like, "How was it?" Like, actually, I was in college at the time, and then I went that weekend. I think I had summer classes, and I was in class. Actually, I got sunburnt for the very first time ever in my life.
Damn.
Right.
What that look
This.
like?
I had a bandana on the entire time and didn't
Oh,
take it off.
I remember.
So I had like a line like brown, black. You know what I mean? And they're like, "They didn't want to go to bar this weekend," and everyone's like looking at me like, "This dude definitely had to go somewhere." You
Like,
don't-
I was just doing some tree trimming and yard work.
It was like, they're like, "So what was it like?" And I was like, "It was like going to hell with all your best friends," because I was so unprepared. It was hot as hell, and then it rained really, really hard one night.
Oh yeah, and then I remember people were running and doing slip and slides in between the main stage and going into the center room or like the shop vendor area.
Dude, we ran, my buddy Isaac, shout out to Isaac Mitchell. He's a huge BC Boys fan. He's like, they're on right now. We're not missing it. So he's running. So we're just gonna run with them. We're running the entire way from camp all the way there. It's raining cats and dogs. We get there, we're completely soaked. The show was dope. Nas came out, like, but I was so unprepared, like no wet wipes, no like I'm on a ran out of underwear. I don't even know, dude.
Yeah.
Like
Your first year at the camping festival was definitely the
No,
worst.
Socks.
oh god, dude.
Out of socks now. Day 2, out of socks.
Everything was just soaked. Like we ended up sleeping in the truck half the time.
It's like a religious experience because you're out there like fasting, not intentionally.
Not
Fasting. You're just out there
just starving.
Yeah,
like
you're
a
too
grilled
hot to
cheese
eat.
is $13.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Too hot to eat and also too expensive.
Yeah.
And people are like, "Why do you want to go to that?" I'm like, "It just makes you feel alive." It's so much different than the rest of reality, and like
Right.
everyone there is pretty much there for the exact same reason. You can like feel it in the air. Like it's
If you enjoy
Everything out here is
music-
so in your face, and like
Yeah.
there is you gotta go out and seek it type deal.
yeah.
Well,
yeah.
it's like it takes a certain like if you gotta enjoy camping though. I feel like to enjoy
Yes.
a camping festival. Like
Yes.
if you're not an outdoorsy camping person,
Right.
you're gonna have a very miserable time.
Go to those hotel festivals, like
Yes.
hang out.
It made me that way because I'd never done anything like that before. I was,
EDC Vegas, like go hang out at those hotel
Yeah,
festivals,
go
you
do all
know.
that. But
Yeah,
a camping festival is a bit rough.
Yeah, it's for a different breed, that's for sure.
I don't really like the
Also, 2 different time of years at location.
hotel festivals as much because like the people who come to those, their energy is different than people who go to camping festivals.
Right.
100%. I went to ACL. I learned that. I was like, all right, we went there. Actually, ACL was after With Your Friends Festival.
I feel like camping festivals are more of a marathon and city festivals are more of an everyday sprint.
Right.
Like you can't just like go to a camping festival and just get smashed every single day because you're
Right.
sleeping on a freaking cot and it's you know what I mean. It's like it can be miserable. Like
Double
to
down.
dehydrate yourself. You're gonna be out in the heat all day. Like at a city festival, you could go get
Which is
hammered
nighttime. Nighttime.
but like at a hotel, but then you're going back, you could shower, you know what I mean? You can like hydrate, like you're fine, you sleep in the AC,
Right.
and then you can go back the next day, you know what I mean? Camping festival's a little bit different. You gotta like pace yourself.
Literally, that's a marathon, not just a sprint like you
No,
said.
I love it. Even though, you know, the best in between is like go to a camping festival and an RV. It's the best of all worlds. It's so expensive, but it is the way to go.
Yeah,
And this man's like, I'm getting an RV because that's how you do it, man.
So
literally.
how big is your RV? I didn't
It's
even
like this 32 feet.
Hell,
Ooh, it's
Yeah,
thick,
it's a
man.
land yacht.
it's a land.
Yeah, yeah. I'm getting
Dude,
gonna
you
get one.
bought a pirate ship,
So
bro.
I literally have I
Fucking
literally have when we were down in St. Pete, we went to the beach and we stopped at Treasure Cove. There's like a little like beach shop, you know. So, so let's get a couple towels because we flew out with just backpacks only,
Yeah.
you know. And so we stop in there and there's like this little brass plaque that says pirates for like the captain's door type shit, you know.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna have that right on the outside door, like pirates on me. I'm gonna get a nautical hole like to open. It's gonna be dope. I was even thinking about getting a wooden helm for the steering wheel.
Oh, dude.
Yeah, and like
custom made.
dude, I've been looking at like flooring and stuff too, because one of the problems is like because it was bought by Wooks, there was some Wook engineering that happened. The freaking the AC unit went out on it, so they just took it out. Which those overhead units, they always shit out on festivals, especially if you're going to hot ass festivals like Bonner or something like that. What people don't realize, they just want to come in and crank it to the coldest setting instead of going at a high setting and then working its way down, because otherwise you're just stressing everything out.
I got told to do
compressor and shit like that. So people fry them so quick, and especially if you're at like hot festivals in the middle of the summer, like i.e. Bonnaroo or all these other ones. So like these people, like they bought it and at Lost Lands and went to a festival out in Arkansas, and then they went down to Texas, and then they drove to St. Pete and parked it. And in the meantime, like during that, they had like a blowout or two. So it's got all new tires on, which is great. It only had 46,000 miles on it. All the fluids look great except for the oil needed to be changed, which we stopped at my homie Brett's Salty Dub. Shout out to him. He's we'll get into him a little bit. He's a really good up and coming artist underground. He's been around since 2016, and now he's like really starting to gain some traction. But he does like dub style music, which is a lot of influence from the Jamaican dub. Mixed with like UK crime type stuff.
You said Salty Dubs?
Yeah, salty dubstep. Yeah, he's and it's not just like an American dubstep; it's true dubstep, which birthed in like the UK. It's based off some like 140 like.
Shut up!
But what he does is he mixes a lot of like southern rap over like Gucci and stuff like that. And so it's got like a whole like vibe.
I think I
like
saw.
He's a diesel mechanic in his off time, so he stopped there to do a tune up on the art.
At Greenway Festival, did him and Spin Chilla play like together?
He showed up for the last night to shut it down on the main stage the first year of Greenway when it all canceled. It was that Rear Refugees. He was there that first year, and we couldn't actually put him on the lineup, but we did a lot of like because it was so last minute, and he's like close homie of mine, so like we couldn't put him on the lineup. He just kind of popped up because otherwise we'd have to go through like the booking agent, pay the minimum there. So he was really doing a favor just driving up to it.
Yeah.
And he showed up to it and he stopped to get he was like, "You guys need anything?" He got cigarettes for Kyle Ginther, rest in peace. He was like one of the sound engineers for that. Turner's really good friend. But yeah, Kyle, he needs cigarettes, and Brett Salty stopped at the gas station with his wife, or soon-to-be wife. They stopped at the gas station, get cigarettes for everybody, and like Kyle's on the list. A few other people working production and stuff. Anything that was needed that last night just to make sure it's good, and he pulled in clutch with that. And like like I said, he works Monday through Friday as a diesel mechanic too, and that was like Sunday night. So he like came up, played, and then dipped types. But he's fucking his music is awesome. Like he actually ran around with the first Hennessy rig, like Hennessy Sound Design, which is what Turner and them just set up over at the Mill, Cannery Row. So Hennessy Sound.
I gotta go to the show there.
Yeah,
have you seen that the Canary Row?
Cannery Row, yeah. So yeah, we actually just went to Super Task. We just went to Super Task, and the after party was Josh T. That was on Saturday. We went to that show there, and got to hear the Henny rig, which Salty. He was actually with Hennessy on their first tour back in like 2016. He was like one of the first artists, and so his music's like designed for that sound system. So really excited to see him. He's actually good. I don't know what lineups he's on yet. I can't really talk too much because I know there's still something to be released that he's on. But just keep your eyes out for him because he's going to be at some stuff locally up in the upcoming.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, let's say he's a phenomenal artist. I'll show you some of his music after the podcast. Yeah.
Because Spotify gets mad at us.
Right. Yeah, I don't know if he's on.
You can do I think it's 15 seconds of a song before there's copyright issues or whatever you want to call it.
You know what? We keep our Facebook keeps getting spammed. Have you guys gotten that at all? Where it's like, hey, we've found a copyright infringement, and you need to click on this link.
Maybe that's what happened to mine because my Facebook just disappeared one day. I got locked out of it. I got hacked. Got hacked it. So I lost everything on there, which sucks because like almost 5,000 friends. Like, some of them are access to private accounts that friends that I no longer have here. So that sucks too. So you lose those memories. But it's like one of those things. It's kind of like a blessing too, because like I'm always trying to look at the positive side of things. So it's like a reset. And so it's like a lot of the people that I don't keep up with anymore. It's kind of easier to get them out of my life and start putting the focus on like I'm really starting to get it and sorry I'm late to the game, but like you were saying, sit down and focus on some things and like the RV is
Yeah.
one of them too, because like looking at the different careers that I want to do, that's going to be huge for me to be traveling with an RV because if I'm doing hospitality and stuff too, like Spin Chill's got the bus and they have like a green room on the bus and stuff too, but
The bus is
but the
is
crew and
dope.
stuff, yeah, I say, but the crew and stuff, if they're like inside and whatnot, we can have an extra RV for artists and stuff too, because 90% of the time they rent one anyway. So now I got this one, be able to ride with them and help them out, and that's why I'm really trying to do it proper on the inside, like definitely going for like some 70s feel on it, like the carpets and stuff, carpet tiles I'm looking at, doing some shag and stuff. Yeah,
That's gonna be
gonna have
fun.
velvet wallpaper and stuff. Yeah, I'm trying. Yeah, do that.
That's a really cool. That's a really cool project. That's something that like I'm like not mechanically inclined or anything, but or do any kind of carpentry. But I would.
If I would.
But if I was able to like, hey, have a bunch of free time and then money to buy something like that, I would like have somebody help me. Like, hey, I want to do this. I think that's super dope. You're doing that.
Yeah.
Well, then you just like you said, you like there's just the freedom to go wherever.
Literally.
Do whatever.
Yeah, I got my own house. I don't have to worry about renting any place. Right.
Right.
It's got a water tank on it, so I can fill up that water tank and have water. Be mindful with the use
Well,
of
money
it.
can
Just
go
down
into-
with it.
Hook up a propane tank too.
It's already got a propane tank in it. Yeah, propane powered
Get you a
refrigerator.
backup.
It's got a gas stove with an oven. So if I'm out there on Thanksgiving and I need to make a turkey, I can.
Can you make almost any modifications to a vehicle that are like, let's just say like, all right, so there's a propane tank on it already. Could you somehow change, like make multiple propane tanks? Like, oh, this thing runs literally forever. If you could just build, if you can build it yourself, can you do it without any kind of like, hey, that's not car regulation.
Regulations. So there's like a big gray area with RVs and schoolies and stuff like that. So like you don't need a commercial like buying a big bus. You would need a commercial license for all those seats because it's a commercial vehicle. You're driving it to transport passengers.
Right.
But as soon as you rip out all those seats,
All
it's
those
become
seats
a
out.
recreational vehicle. So you can do whatever
Right.
the fuck you want with it, and you don't even need to get that special ID,
Right.
or license to drive it.
Okay.
But yeah, it's the same vehicle. So like, which they
That's
have to go
correct.
through a special school to drive something that's over, like 35 feet or however long a bus is. Like,
Yeah.
but that's the thing is like even the short buses, you have to like go through classes and stuff too because of the seats. It's a passenger vehicle. So
Yeah.
it's like basically
You
like
have to
a
get,
chauffeur's license.
Chauffeur,
Yeah,
look for the same
Yeah.
if you have like a limo or whatever.
exactly. Exactly.
That's wild.
Right. But
That's what you should.
but you can take it on and essentially put a freaking pipe bomb on it. That's like
We didn't say that.
yeah, like a potential pipe bomb. Like, picture getting, rear-ended by a semi and a fucking propane tank that holds 50 gallons of propane explodes, It's gonna be a big flash fire.
But it's in the wrong
Just saying.
spot.
Exactly, just in the wrong spot, or not like a proper cage around it or something too. And that's the crazy thing on most RVs. There's not really any like bar cages around them or anything to prevent, like if somebody were to T-bone an RV, most of the propane tanks are on one either or side.
Yeah.
And so like, that's a potential,
Mm.
which is crazy, I just thought about that. So maybe I'll weld in a cage.
Maybe something to think about.
Something to think about.
Put it on the. You guys, did you ever see the movie Death Race?
Yeah.
When
Okay.
dude
I
had a
saw-
tombstone that he would drop. That could be like your tombstone.
Right,
You drop
just
out the back.
ding, ding, ding.
Wait, is that I'm thinking of Death Proof. I didn't see Death Race.
No, Death Race is the
Jason
one.
Jason
where-
Statham.
Yeah, the prisons are overpopulated.
So they have like a TV show, Gladiator Demo Derby
Yeah.
race.
Yeah, it's like Mario Kart, but like way more.
it's like Mario Kart, but with felons. Like,
Yeah.
it's all Wario's of all the regions, advertisers. But like the NC-17 version, that softcore late night. I'll tell you what.
Racing with no rubbers.
Right.
Dude, how did you get into cooking? When did that start?
Oh, parents opened a restaurant when I was in like 6th grade.
Your parents did?
Oh yeah, when I was up in Michigan.
that.
Yeah, up in Michigan, we
No
had
shit.
a little restaurant that was actually my aunt's before my dad took it over.
Word up.
Yeah, so but I've always been in the kitchen, like, cause that's where you, like a dog, wait for something to fall off. Grandma would always feed me stuff, And
Martine, I can hear you breathing. Get back in your rooms. Dinner's not ready.
But yeah, no, just I've always been like, about the food. My grandmother, she always, cooked and stuff. It was one of those things, growing up in like a low middle class family, you didn't have much, but you always had dinner and we'd all get together and kind of bring people together. So my grandma always said that I'd be a nurse and my sister would be a great cook, and it's actually the opposite now. It's the medical field, and I'm the one
She got her off. She's like,
yeah.
She's close.
Yeah, it's just close, just close. But yeah, so my dad and my mom took over a restaurant. I was in 6th grade, and it was like 2 blocks from the middle school that I went to. So early morning they do breakfast, Mexican breakfast and stuff. And we do our homework and then walk to school. And then after school, come back, do our homework that we could get done before dinner rush started. And go and help like bus tables, wait tables, stuff. And everybody loved like the 12, 13-year-old kid coming taking orders and stuff. A lot of it was like our teachers and shit too, because it's small town shit.
Yeah.
And so yeah, but they would tip fast. So like I'm out there on the freaking on the playground with a stack of cash in my freaking leather Canadian Harley wallet. I got a chain with my my dude JC on the cross there.
Like Jesus pays on it. That's what
and that's what I'm saying. Like I was the only kid that was 13 years old with my own money shopping at the pagodas in the mall. I was like, let me get that diamond chain with my boy on it.
Every single week with a new pair of Jinkos. How does he do it?
Right, hacky sack.
In a FUBU jersey. What the?
Right. Yeah, you got the new Red Wings jersey, the Stevie Y on the back. It's cool. But yeah, no, I've always kind of been like into that like hustle mentality. My dad taught me the work ethic and stuff. But like even before that, in 5th grade, I remember the first time I got detention was because I had a friend. Her parents ran a floral shop. And like those roses, how they like the little capsules on the bottom to hold the water and food in them.
Oh yeah.
So I told her, I was like, yo, bring me a bunch of those, because I was taking sugar and Kool-Aid and mixing it together, make my own like pixie stick type deal. And so like we were filling up those vials, and I was like, I give her free candy, and then like I would go out there on the playground and sell for $1 a piece to people, and all these kids are coming in with like pink fingers and blue tongues and stuff like that. And so the lunch lady sees me out there by the Foursquare spot, like waiting in line, slinging these little capsules. Right. And so she tells the principal, she's like straight up fucking dry snitching that. She goes, with her fucking curly mullet and shit. This is the 90s. This is the 90s, right? Old toad looking ass. But no, so anyway, so she tells the principal, I guess he just has a vendetta against hustlers, but he sits there and he's like, well, you could get into legal trouble with this because you don't have to pay taxes on your sales. And,
oh my god!
Like I'm in 5th grade, I'm fucking 11 years old, and I'm out here. I'm like I'm with my chain wallet, got my freaking spiky hair and stuff, he's just a dick. And so anyways, like this fool is like telling me like he's gonna suspend me, gives me detention instead. Because he was like, are you licensed to sell Kool-Aid products? And I'm like, well, I'm sitting here and like, I wish I knew what I knew now, because I would have been like, well, I made my own new product with one of their byproducts. So like it's my own brand essentially. And like if you really want to get technical, which I whatever. But at the same time, I was like, fuck you, I still sold it anyways afterwards, but just did after school. And like, but yeah, like it's just like haters gonna hate, and I was gonna be one out there.
That's
funny. Yeah, I mean 5th grade. Yeah, I'll say like he was like,
you didn't bring those back. Just spike them with vodka.
Right. Well, no, it was just a dry powder mix. It wasn't even like shots. It was dry powder, making my own pixie mix. Okay. Just mixing the sugar and the Kool-Aid and like making a pixie stick.
Okay.
It wasn't a liquid shot. No, it's like people were doing finger dips on the playground, like.
But you could mix that with vodka.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
So pretend
I could make Jello shots too.
Speaking of this, I had a lady today, like a guest come in, and she gave me a bottle of like Kool-Aid. She's like, "This is from my restaurant in West Tennessee. You're gonna love it." I'm not even kidding.
You said it's a bit racist?
I'm not even kidding.
You said it's a bit racist.
She's black. That's what's
okay. All right, never mind.
It's racial.
Black people can't.
It's her restaurant. She's a partner. It's a partnership with a restaurant. And she's like, I make this. She's like, she goes, I'm sitting there like selling her glasses. She goes, you drink Kool-Aid? I'm like, yeah, sometimes.
Just gonna say this real quick. Xavier, remember the shirt? Facts don't give a fuck about your feelings.
Right. Now that you provide some context, some more. Saying, yeah, she's pushing her product. I can respect that.
Yeah. But she gave me a free little mini. It's like when you buy a jug of milk at the store, it looks like that, but it's miniature and it's just blue Kool-Aid. And there's like a little like restaurant logo on it, and yeah. It says like pop the top and fill up or something like that on the side.
You drink Kool-Aid, boy?
It's like the little barrel juices back with their brand.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah, that's weird.
Is it good? What was the name?
I haven't tried it. You gonna get it?
Yeah.
All right, let me get it.
Oh, no.
You got some vodka in there?
No,
You gave me some tips about drinking it with alcohol too, but I can't remember what you said.
that's what we need to do next time.
I've gotten free Kool-Aid and free liquor working at Target Optical.
Dude.
What was it like? Were they, kind of profiling that too? Or they're like, oh, Hennessy and Hypnotic. Cavassier.
He drinks so much.
I'll take some Remy. Is that Ciroc? Yeah, I'll take it.
What's fucking what's his name? Fucking Kevin Hart's fucking tequila.
Everyone's got their own alcohol.
Yeah, Michael Jordan's guys on tequila too. Well, it's Michael Jordan, Larry Bird. It's like five.
Well, this goes back to what we were talking about earlier. I feel like a lot of those guys are like borderline alcoholics, so they're like, "I'm just gonna start my own."
Like Anthony Bourdain said, everybody's got a vice,
Right,
Like,
but-
what is it though?
But it's
some
like
people
about
like
as much-
porn, some people like liquor, like coffee. What is
Some
it?
people
Well,
like
it's like-
killing people.
it's
It's
like
like them in their
Dahmer.
fridges.
But like, if you're an alcoholic like that, why not at least like maybe you're not gonna make $1 million off of having your own tequila or whatever, but like you can at least get free tequila.
I mean, somebody made $1 billion off of their tequila company.
I know. Well, that's the upside. But if you're an alcoholic, you're just like, fuck it.
Well, now there's a blue agave shortage. Like a lot of these new tequilas, or a lot of these tequilas, you really gotta watch. Unless they're made with blue agave, it's not really a
It's not
true
really
tequila. Yeah, usually people are making like these agave tequilas, and they're proofing it with like PGA
It's gotta
basically,
come
like
from
Jose
Jose
Cuervo.
Cuervo.
Yeah, it's like
Oh, I knew I didn't like Jose Cuervo.
or it's gotta be from the tequila or Jalisco region of Mexico.
Yeah.
And so
But does Patron still? I don't like Patron, to be honest.
Patron's like I hate Patron. Like I'm a Casamigos kind of guy.
That's fun, bro.
El Herradura is pretty good. There's a few,
Casamigos.
even like if you're talking like lower shelf one, there's Camarena. Camarena is like a good, like affordable one. It's like on the same tiers like Hornitos and stuff like that.
Oh,
A little bit higher than Jose Cuervo, which it is to be expected because Jose Cuervo is just coloring PGA and like some agave. Like
That's
which-
it.
yeah, not even blue agave. So like a lot of people don't know that. It's pretty crazy because that's why
Facts.
like when you drink it, you feel like absolute fucking dog shit the next day because you just drank a bunch of freaking like pure grain, like basically ethanol, like
Yeah,
freaking
with the-
race car fuel. Like, so,
That's we used to have a vodka in college called Hawkeye vodka.
God,
And it literally tasted like it's
never
like
popped
Skull
over.
vodka.
Yeah,
it's
Skull
like,
pop
it's
off.
like
Some kid in his
5
dorm-
o'clock vodka.
It's
That's
like-
what we
it's
had.
like
5 o'clock.
It felt like it
Burnett's.
burned my organs as it went down. And I was like, oh, that's not healthy.
Right.
Yeah, she only burns to like right here. So
Yeah.
it was Hawkeye, which is like their school
Yeah,
mascot. So
yeah.
was some kid in his dorm slinging bottles of like.
No, it was like I think it was just like an Iowa-based thing. Iowa low key though, they make like some pretty decent like bourbon because it's all like the corn-based
Yeah,
bourbon.
yeah.
and all
Yeah.
that. So
That's what
they'll fuck
Michigan-
around, dude.
I say Michigan slept on it for a while. That's funny because I go back now and there's all these little like micro distilleries and stuff up there, but
Yeah.
there's a lot of corn and soy where I grew up. So
Right.
and then honestly, they're like, where I was living, there's called the Raisin River came through, and that was all like Potawatomi territory and stuff and Chippewa. But the Raisin River was named Raisin River because there's all like these wild grapes that grew along it. So now there's a lot of these wild species of grapes that people are starting to bring back that's indigenous to the area. And they're making vineyards and stuff out there too. Like actually, when our restaurant sold, Pentamere Wine Company, which is the Pentamere Vineyards up there, they took over our restaurant spot, and that's like
Oh, so now it's the.
yes.
Well, if you think about it, because like where you're at in Michigan is probably pretty parallel to like Northern California. It's like far.
Yeah, it's along the same latitudinal line
Yeah,
as
so it's
France, California,
yeah,
Napa
all that
Valley, and
shit,
all
yeah,
that. So
it's
yeah,
just like,
and the
you get
soil
that
up there's
urban-
the soil
Right.
up there's ridiculously
Right.
good too because Michigan, how the Great Lakes
It's
formed.
the Midwest,
Was yeah,
man.
I say when when Pangea split and everything and the water started to recede, like back in the day when it was all Pangea, Michigan was like an underwater shelf. And so like as everything split and the water started to spread, that water dried out and became purified by the rain process of distillation, became freshwater lakes. And so there's actually like a coral that's fossilized there. It's like some of the oldest one of the oldest organisms on earth, and it's fossilized called Petoskey stone. It's the Michigan State stone. And so basically there's like all this coral life and stuff down there that as the water started to freshen, it started to calcify and became a fossil. And it's from the Denovian era, which is like 230,000 years older than dinosaurs, like 420 million years ago. So like this shit's like some of the oldest living species known to man, and it's in the Great Lakes. And you go up there like Petoskey, Michigan, up in the northeastern side of the state, and you can find like rocks on the shore, and you hit them with water, and you can see it forms almost like honeycomb patterns. And so yeah, like you can go up there and find that, but it's pretty cool that like that's from Michigan, the home state, but that's how the waters became fresh waters and stuff too. And I actually went to go see Niagara for the first time.
Oh yeah, dude, Niagara Falls is wild.
Yeah, so
it's like breathtaking.
Well, we went at nighttime, and I'll have to show you some photos, and they actually
I saw the photos of you and Tyler.
Yeah, so yeah, they actually taken they project lights from the Canadian side and they on the falls, which is really cool. And so we went up there at nighttime, got to see that experience, which is pretty cool because like that's another one of the Great Lakes I'd never seen before. But yeah, I mean, here's like a little picture there.
Oh shit, yeah, do that.
Yeah.
I've seen it twice
And like-
a day, but
and like,
I've never seen that.
Yeah, and at one point too, that they do like the French flag on it, like
Oh,
red, white, and
shit.
blue, and then like they changed the pattern of the red, white, and blue for the American side too,
Oh, right
because
on.
it's like France and or French Canadian, and
I've heard that Niagara Falls looks better from the Canadian.
absolutely, absolutely.
I haven't seen it from the Canadian.
They have a lookout point too that was closed because it's under construction.
Mhm.
And then what I found out after the fact is you can go into the Canada side without your passport, just like to go view and stuff.
Oh, really?
Because there's an island out there. It's technically Canadian. It's an island, but it is like I guess it's like annexed or something like that.
Sure.
So you can go across and like view and stuff.
They're
You
probably
basically get
like-
like a day pass, like a day pass to a festival. They're like,
Yeah.
oh hey there, come on over and check out the
Probably-
falls from our
They
side.
probably make so much money off of letting these dumb Americans come over and just look at this thing from up there that like,
Yeah, yeah.
it's probably the way to do it. You know?
Mhm. I'll say the energy was pretty heavy there though too. Like, it's like you think about it, like that's all like Native American territory, and like that's like a place where they used to like. My buddy was reading and found out that like during like Indian burials and stuff like that, and like when I'm watching them, like usually they would bury people on the riverside, so the souls would wash into the universe or whatever. Or nature, because they're very, Native Americans are awesome idealists of how to live, like coexist with the earth, like American society and like the whole world as a whole. Honestly, we've been given this great planet of all these resources, and instead of learning to coexist with it, we're just living on top of it and shitting on top of it.
Right.
And now we're
It's
getting
the
promised our own
monetary,
shit.
the
Yeah,
monetary value of things is corrupted so much. It's like
Native Americans, yeah.
Yeah.
They used to take what they needed and what they did, they give back. And like, there's different tribes, but well about it being different tribes and stuff, they still have powwows. Like everybody like recognize like this is our turf, our territory, our grounds, blah blah. But once in a while they'd all come together and have these, art fairs essentially. And this is kind of like where festivals are kind of like in the same aspect in my view is like, a powwow. You have all these different artists, different people from different walks of life, and for like 1 weekend a year, everybody like puts everything aside and they see each other for who they really are, and they're all there for like the same thing, and you get to see different arts and goods and stuff, things you never even seen before, and that opens your mind to new growth and stuff like that. Collaborations then develop and new bands form and stuff like that. But like, you get to see somebody like making this clothing, you're like, oh, I never really thought about it. And then like you may have a piece of art that they never thought about, and then they're like, well, your pendant would look really cool as like a stitch on piece to my clothing or something, or you could wire wrap some buttons or something or cufflinks for my jackets and stuff like that, whatever. Like things kind of grow and change in that aspect. And like the Native Americans would do that, like they would trade goods, and sometimes they'd even trade like marriages and stuff like that, which is kind of fucked up. But I mean, unless they're cool with it,
I don't want
because
this
it was like,
lady. What do you?
Right.
Do you want her?
right, and like right. And so they're gonna pass the peace pie, and like get off that one there, like that's a horse. Like I know. I'm trying to ride it in a different way, you know what I'm saying? Try to catch some buffalo.
That's a beautiful thing. That's a beautiful thing about festivals. That's something I recognize. The first time I went, I was just trying to survive, but I recognized little bits and pieces of it. The second year, I was prepared, so I was able to take in more and not worry about where's the water or what am I going to eat. My socks are wet, and it's like going to places, going to a festival, and everyone is just talking to each other, random strangers. You just make friends with people who's camping next to you. In real life, it's like people put their head down, they go to work, do their job, go home, and they don't reach out to people. Like I'm the person, like I'm out in public, I'll just like comment on something. I'll be walking through an aisle and I'll see someone pick up some chips. I'm like, hey, good fucking choice. You know, like,
Yeah,
and that's the thing.
exactly.
That's what people do at festivals, and that's what I love about the
It's,
energy of
dude, I love some guy on Facebook describes it as like messing with NPCs. He's like people you don't know in life are NPCs. And they don't
Literally.
matter. Like you can do and say whatever to those people and it doesn't matter.
Like you never talk about driver.
No, exactly, dude. Like
Dude.
especially when I'm traveling. Like if I'm like at the Walmart I always go to, if I'm at the gas station I always go to, that's one thing. Oh,
That shit was crazy.
Oh, Buff Swole.
I was, man. I can make it back. I'm barely out of the game, man.
So definitely gonna have to go as a Kimbo Slice this year for Halloween. Come on.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Do it
Oh,
too.
yeah.
We talked about that.
Yeah, just fill the hair out back here. Just
Yeah,
fill the top.
that's right.
Just like Kimbo Slice, he had like that strap.
He
going on.
died, didn't he?
Yeah, he had like
No, dude, they brought him back.
It's like a heart failure.
He's
so.
no, he's fighting Tyson like next week.
No, that's Jake Paul. You're thinking Jake
No,
Paul.
Kimbo Slice.
All right, I'm on the phone with this one because I'm pretty sure Kimbo Slice died.
Yeah, I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
All right. Because I just thought there was like a glitch in the matrix or something. I was like, all right, which
Yeah,
dimension
dude.
am I in?
Bear State Bears? Come on, man. A or E? Come on.
Nelson
So that's the first time I
Mandela.
got World Star, I think, was Kimbo Slice.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh shit, you can watch people beat up people?
Yeah.
What?
Back we were talking about he like knocked
Yeah.
one dude's eye. Like
I
one dude's
remember
eye
that.
fell off, like
I remember that one. It was like,
And then he was like, I'm gonna go get into the UFC and then just got freaking worked.
And he went against some guys.
he's like, I can whoop
Trained
everyday
players.
person's ass, but like professional fighters, he's like, wasn't quite there.
Right,
He was
yeah.
he was older when he got in too.
Yeah, he was like in his 40s. Like,
Yeah. So
That's
maybe
a
the people-
long time.
If he was trained from a
Right.
younger age and got into UFC, there's no telling what he could have done.
Right. That's like taking Arnold Schwarzenegger right now and telling him to go be Mr. Olympia again. Like,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
Right.
Speaking of celebrities, did he do it?
Are you talking about P. Did it?
Brother Love. He changed his name to Brother Love like
Oh god.
a month ago.
Let's get
Right.
canceled today. All right, so P. Diddy's definitely touching little boys, right?
Wait. So, all right. This is what I know.
Pete Diddley.
He's called the Diddler.
Oh my god.
So,
P. Diddy.
Changed his name from
so it's
Diddley
not
to
so much
Diddley.
as just pedophilia. It's like, all right, it's prostitution, all right, but also
It's like a whole sexuring thing.
harassing other
Nobody's safe.
sexually harassing other celebrities and coercing people into like, hey, if you do this, I'll give you a Grammy. I'll get you a Grammy. I'll get you a record deal.
It's like making the band type shit or
I
whatever.
pull a Biggie verse out of the vault and I'll put it on that shit. We're gonna win it.
Making the band say, go down to the docks and get me a sugar cookie.
Yeah.
Type shit. Like,
Yeah,
if
and-
you do this, I'm gonna bring the studio back. Like, that's just some like,
He's a sociopath.
yeah, such a
Die
bad.
So he'll have parties.
Let's spit hot fire.
He'd have parties and he'd like, all right, man, I got your drink already made for you. Everyone's got their own bottles. Like, I opened it up for you. You don't have to open it. All the balls were laced with stuff.
Oh,
and people
yeah.
would be passed out. There's a video of a security guard. He's like, yeah, I worked with Diddy. He's like, I was one of the like his bodyguard or security guard or something. He said, I don't drink. He's like, I just smoke weed. And he said everyone was just passed out. And he took Meek Mill in a room, him and Meek Mill in a room. And he's like, and I heard something going on in the room. And he's like, I put my phone to the door and you can hear something happening, struggling and all kinds of stuff. And they showed the audio. It sounds
balls clapping.
horrible. It's not okay.
Sounds like some Vatican like Pope behind the closed doors type shit.
Yeah.
It's not good.
It's like
But so now they're thinking about all the people who like were younger stars and stayed at his house, and it was like Usher and Justin Bieber.
it's weird to me. It's
Yeah.
like if you're P. Diddy,
Was it like
Why?
the Illuminati and shit?
why are you drugging people? Like,
Right.
can't you just be like, hey, I'm P. Diddy. I've
Yo,
got a
what's
lot
up?
of money."
I mean, yeah.
It's
Are
power.
Are there 10 women that are
It's not like he's
like
not
the
a normal
one I have
person.
sex
Because he wants to make sure they're down with it.
But like, you know what I'm saying? Of like, I just don't
Yeah,
understand
I
that
don't get-
philosophy. I'm
Yeah,
like,
it's just like Voldemort.
It's a power thing.
basically.
It's a power thing.
yeah.
It doesn't make any sense to us because
Yeah.
we're not him, but that's what it is for him.
I can understand because I think what the thing that it gets twisted is people like, I don't understand why these people with a lot of money like these young, beautiful women. I don't, well, that
Right.
makes sense to me, right? If you had a shit ton of money, you'd have a lot of hot young broads around too. Like where it gets weird is like when it gets forceful, right? And it's like
Right.
when it's like kids, you know what I
Right,
mean?
yeah.
But like every rich guy has like some 20-something-year-old trophy wife or whatever.
Right.
You know what I mean? That makes a shit ton of money. So like I can't hate that, but like what's weird is like when you start drugging people about
Right,
it. Like,
exactly.
you got enough.
It's
I guess the thing's like you got enough money to not do that. So
Not only that, but I guess maybe it's just like lack of game. I don't know. Like,
But
with minors though, that's fucking like.
It's just like, hey, do you see all these $100 bills right here? Do you see this? Do you want to go have sex?
This is also a fucked up aspect though too. You know, just being like, oh, I got a shitload of money, baby. What's up? You know, that's like
but
that's like that's like the brothel prostitution type shit.
It
you
is.
know?
It's a fucked up philosophy,
But it is a fact that like women are
facts don't
attracted.
care about your feelings.
Right.
you
Yeah,
know?
exactly. Some women are attracted
Women
to the
love
money.
money.
Right, they love to spend money. They like to go shopping. They like the fancy things, you know. But like, you know, it's just one of those things that is like, you know, it's just the moral of it.
Yeah.
Like, don't slip drugs in people's drinks.
Right. Well,
Right?
that's I guess that's my
That's just a
thing.
whole predatory
Right.
mindset.
Of like, what are you?
Fun is so much
you have
better.
a whole different agenda. there.
Right.
Fun is so much better when it's organic.
Right.
Why try to
Right.
force stuff?
Yeah.
Right. That's just some like narcissistic sociopath type. Like
Exactly.
I need control on this. And
And like even like if you want to have this like crazy like sex party again, like Diddy makes enough money, knows all the people, has all the connections to have a crazy sex. Like just do that. Like you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Right.
Do you remember?
Again, like
Do you remember Cat
Right,
Williams?
but consent, like
Yeah.
consent, consent is sexy. It's cliche and sound. It's not bad.
like
Do you remember Cat Williams set up or something? I'm going to mansion parties in Hollywood, and I'm walking past these rooms, and I look in there, and there's this nigga feeding the nigga.
whoa.
And he's just like, I've seen things you can't even imagine. He's like, there's people who do stuff that you don't know about. I think Cat Williams is trying to tell us something.
Right.
No,
Right.
Cat's seen some shit.
Right.
He told us back in like, what was that stand up? Pimp Chronicles.
Yeah.
I think it might have been Pimp Chronicles.
It's been
That's what it is. I think it was like 2000, probably like 10.
Yeah.
And now it's all coming out in the wash. And this year started off with his podcast with
Shane Sharp.
yeah, and he's just like, things are gonna be revealed this year, and it's like, here we go. It set the whole tone.
Well, like I said though, dude, like I'm like this whole we were talking before about this new one on Nickelodeon with like
Oh, yeah.
Okay,
Quiet on the set.
yes,
Whatever.
but can I tell you what's weird about that one? What got me like my fucked up mind with too of like, did these people go so far to start a whole TV station dedicated to kids because they were so fucked up that they wanted to
farm
molest
kids. Yeah.
And like they wanted to start like a child sex ring, so they were like, "Well, let's just start a fucking."
Wait.
Is that
I
like
didn't
fun?
see
I
that.
haven't watched the
Honestly,
documentary,
that is a good point. I haven't seen the documentary yet.
but that's
either,
where my
like,
fucking mind goes, and
Exactly.
that's wild. Like
Yeah.
that's it's just.
But I mean, that's the thing that happens too. And like, that's another thing too. Like these large festivals and stuff, like you have to be careful, like, cause you know, like that whole Freaknik stuff that we were talking about
Yeah.
back then, like, you know, there's supposed to be something, this beautiful thing drawn by like the Black community, and like the intentions were there and stuff, but then all of a sudden all these people are just taking it to a different context, and like the dogs started showing up, and they're like, you know, raping people and stuff like that, human trafficking and stuff. And that's even with like big festivals like Bonnaroo, like, you know, people get kidnapped and stuff. Like, you know, it happens like the trafficking rates, because like what better place to go find somebody fucked up and like out of their gourd, and like, and that's the thing, like you're saying with P. Diddy, like they're putting shit in people's drinks and people are doing this. There's like 1 year.
shit.
Yeah,
Yeah,
there's
same shit.
I feel like
There's one
I'm-
year where there's issues of people like being dosed out of their will, like
Yeah.
people putting like research chemical drugs and like water guns and like spraying people with them at festivals and shit. Like it's messed up, you know?
Yeah. I don't know, but this whole P. Diddy thing is wild because Chris Lee, back in the day, would show YouTube videos like, look at this, look at that. I'm like, man, there's a conspiracy about every single celebrity if you look hard enough. But he was like, no, like, look at this. And I was like, all right, I see it. That's fine. I didn't really pay any attention to it. fast forward to now, and like it's everywhere. And as when it started coming out
It's every week something
a
else
few
comes
months
out.
ago, and it started like slowly leaking out, I texted Chris. I was like, you see what's happening, right? He's like, I told you, dude. He's like, I've been telling you. I'm like,
There's the whisper in the wind on that.
yeah.
That's like a level of fortune and fame. I'm good with.
Right.
The fortune, yes. The fame, no.
Like imagine being so rich and famous that suddenly all the people that you surround yourself are like child molesters. It's like, oh, no thanks. See ya.
There's a correlation.
So basically, just stay away from getting into politics.
Yeah, no, like essentially, yeah, there's an inner circle there somewhere, and they're all into the same like weird fucked up shit.
So the people who figure out how to make it,
it's like when they start bringing out chalice like full of like what you know is human blood, it's like, okay.
The butlers are just cleaning.
Here's the thing. Here's the thing, though. Think about this for a second. Like, there's a correlation between people who know how to make a lot of money and the dark side. It's like
Well, sure, but I feel like those worlds can easily collide. You know?
Oh, yeah,
there's plenty of people from the dark side that make a lot of money. Yeah. Now, to be fair, there's also a lot of good people out there that make a lot of good money that build wells in Africa and do a lot of this shit. Like, God bless those people as well. But there's a lot of bad people out there that make a lot of money that do a lot of bad things with that money. But it's also weird to me, like, I don't know, dude. It's just weird that there's like a market out there for that.
That's what I think about all the time.
Child sex slaves.
Right. So like Taylor was telling me about watching videos.
I don't know why we're talking about child sex slaves. Let's get into it.
Because it was P. Diddy, that's why.
Oh yeah. P. Diddy, dude. That's what we're talking about. Child sex slaves, P. Diddy.
Sorry the episode got so dark, but P. Diddy's gotta something's gotta be done, man.
Has he been? Well, his house just got raided.
He was in the country the day his house got.
But raided. No, he tried to flee the country.
He did.
But the pilot, I thought, to the plane told him, "I can't take off with you in the plane." I thought that's what happened.
Well, this is news to me.
I don't know. Well,
all I know is
this is a developing story.
What I definitely know is
one of the clones of P. Diddy is out of country
with the Tupac. Yeah.
No, oh my god,
it's wild.
Some of the skits in Long Beach Griffey.
Yeah.
He put a skit the other day because he goes full sin. Like I'm not even gonna attempt to tell you what
Beach
Griffey.
Yeah. Okay.
You know who he is.
Yeah, he sends me like Instagram videos of his shit.
Oh yes.
You know who he is?
He probably sent me shit.
He's the one who was like he does like the one of the skits where it's like you have a certain type of person come into the studio. He had when you had a clan member come into the studio, and he's just like, "Oh man, I'm getting fired," and it's him. He pulls off the hood and starts spitting bars.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that guy. Yeah. He's stupid, dude.
Did you do a tap water one too?
Yeah,
you like to drink tap? Training day tap water.
He's dumb, dude.
Yeah, that's
so like, all right, so I checked out. Switch gears a little bit, but I checked out Astral Project playlist on SoundCloud.
Oh yeah.
Oh shit.
Who are some of like the artists like you really like or you know personally? I know Soundwave, of course.
Yeah, Strange Wave. Strange Wave.
I'm sorry.
No. Strange Wave. He's now Nashville-based artist, but he's out of Memphis, and he's a producer. He used to produce a lot of like rap, like Southern rap, for Capone and stuff. Like
you should check his stuff out.
Yeah, he's very eclectic. Strange Wave.
Yeah.
Like Wave as in a wave file, WAV. So yeah, Strange Wave. He's been around for a hot minute. Wayne crushes it producer wise. Like he performs live Ableton live performances, I guess you would say. But yeah, he started out like hip hop and southern rap beats and stuff like that, and then he has his own stuff now, which is more like a experimental bass music, I guess is the category it falls under. But yeah, dude crushes it. But as far as the headliners go, you got like Turnian Sound, which is a trio of artists that came out from Minneapolis, Minnesota back in like 2016. You got Resonant Language, they're from New York. Cursa, he's from the trio KLO. He's the K of KLO. But yeah, you got, very eclectic lineup. You got, Capura, which is coming out of that. Capura is like Brazilian folklore for protector of the forest.
Yeah, who's that?
Capura.
Capora.
Yeah. So Capura, they're so they're two guys. One was I think born in like the Philippines or something, and they're met in San Diego, came together, and then they did like festivals. I think they did Envision, and it's pretty cool. They took like their beat pad and had like all these fruit hanging. There's a video you can find online that had fruit hanging. They like plugged into where the fruit was actually like the touch sensors on the beat pad. So they're just like playing with fruit, making music, producing music live for people.
So
Playing
and
Fruit Ninja.
yeah, playing Fruit Ninja,
Yeah.
like, but making music with it,
So
like Dance
are
Dance
they-
Revolution for Root.
so they're like gathering sounds from the fruits.
No, so they're
No,
taking the
no.
actual sensor through the machine, like instead of the pad, which you could set to be any sound, they have that set up to different fruit. So when you touch it, turn it into an organic touch sensor.
Stop playing with your food, no, mom.
No, I'm literally playing with my
Oh,
food
no.
to make music.
Okay.
And but yeah, so
Oh, yeah.
supposedly it was talks about to bring that actual setup to actual project would be really cool. But as far as like the local artists and stuff, you got excuse me, like Lucid Minds is the main production company for Astral Project, but there's also like a Subsidy Takeover, which they're based out of Austin, Texas, and they got some really cool artists like Slizzard,
Slizzard's
Flo,
dope.
who's he freestyles, he does turntablism and mixes live. But yeah, Subsidy, they're based out of Austin, Texas. Those are some cool homies that met some years back. They got a festival they do each year too, like November out there.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, but as far as like the undercard artists and whatnot too, like local artists that are up and coming, like Nashville's kind of been the same artist for a long time. But as far as the Southeast region goes, there's a lot of really cool up and comers. Like you got, Strained Roots out of Huntsville, Alabama. You got Relic. Relic is
Dude, Alabama, I feel
Yeah.
like is a low Alabama and Arkansas.
Mhm.
I feel like are two
I just love my
low-key,
mom, right?
like hotbeds for EDM music. Like why
they're just slept on because like
Yeah.
there's
Are
not really
there hotbeds?
well, it's like, excuse me, it's literally like slept on because like it's such a off the grid spot, I guess,
Yeah.
But you gotta think about where music travels, like, people going to Colorado, go through Arkansas, or going to Texas, go through Arkansas,
Yeah.
so going to Nashville, go through Arkansas.
That's true.
And like, people going from, Texas to Florida, go through Alabama. And like, going to Atlanta, going through Alabama, straight up. And that's what I'm saying. Like Chattanooga is really a slept on city too, with a lot of up and coming artists. There's a little venue down there called the Dark Roast, which is getting ready. They're in the process of maybe potentially going out of business just because it's just like it's a small venue that didn't gain a lot of traction because it's like one of those things. It's hard to be underground, but yet get the publicity you need. And the owner thinks that he can sell the building to some other people and make more money off of it than what we're already doing. But it's like a cultural thing that we're doing there. Like, we're for the underground culture. So there is works of it potentially being saved. Snapdragon, this like hemp company based out of Chattanooga, they're looking at buying it and turning it into like a dispensary during the day. And then we can still do our stuff at night, the shop and stuff. Cause like we got visual artists like Dojo, that's his home spot. Like he's out there, like phenomenal visual artist. I think you have some stuff at Astral Project. And then there's like, artists like Brother Burks, which is a very good friend of mine. He does like very influenced and inspired by the Whittler. So
Yeah.
like that type of vibe. He's got a lot of that Jamaican dub, but he has a lot of Southern rap, kind of like, Salty Doves, Salty, right? He's out of Atlanta area. He, is phenomenal. He's been around since 2016 and like he's really starting to do big things now. Like it's crazy to see these artists grow and develop.
Yeah.
You got Relic, who's going to be on the lineup here too. Relic, he's out of he grew up like Cherokee Farms, and he's turntablist, phenomenal scratch artist. But he also produces his own music. He does live music too. Like he might actually pop off some of it there, where he's done like music he produced, and he plays in the background. He plays bass live over it and stuff too. So and then
That's cool to
like bass
see.
guitar, yeah, and then you got like Gilliam. Gilliam's another turntablist out of Memphis. Trying to do a lot of like Tennessee shout outs right now.
Yeah.
You got Canopsia, which this is some of his merch somewhere right here. Spencer, he's a producer, very influenced by like Jade Cicada and Tipper, stuff like that. And like a lot of his stuff is all originals produced. And like that's the thing, like Brother Bruce, he's starting to get into producing a little bit. So look out, he's coming. But like he's one of those DJs that really like stitches and layers so much that like it produces a whole new song. Like you'll catch bits and you don't know it.
He's the sampling is like
Yeah, it's literally
so
like,
intricate. You're
but
like,
he's doing it live.
yeah.
Like a true DJ, like a true DJ. And like that's the thing, like that's an art in itself. So like there's a lot of those people that are like, oh, producers are better than DJs because they create. And it's just like I met a lot of producers that can produce music but can't DJ a live set to save their fucking life. They're one of those people that go up and press play and the fake and turning knobs type. Which is Milli Vanilli to me,
and DJs,
and like,
a lot of DJs get bad raps.
And like, but then there's DJs that are like, they're like, oh, there's like wedding DJs, which they're just playing somebody's song and they're not doing anything to it, just hitting the filters and like making it wow, wow type shit and adding effects, which that's not it. Like you're a glorified wedding DJ at that point. You're like, you got
a really fancy phone at that point.
At that point, you might as well take requests, and so, and then there's like, real DJs that like, they got 4 fucking CDJs up there and they got one over here doing this damn thing. And then they're like stitching in, like, they got vocals off this track, your mids over here, your highs, lows, and twisting them all together, putting the effects and spinning it, like doing that real shit, and and like, that's really crazy to me. Like seeing that, like seeing people do that work and like, excelling it, like, getting paid to do that, doing something you love. That's awesome. Like that's why I support, like Brother Burks and like, you got Shakes too. Shakes is out of Atlanta. He's on the lineup. And he's one of those people that like produces his own music. He has the DJ quality too. But not only that, this man is doing his own lights for his show too. He'll have he'll program his lights and stuff for his show. And like he does lights and stuff for other people and visuals and stuff. But like he'll like sit there and like have like a whole experience that he designed. And that's the type of stuff that I like.
It's kind of like
that's all about like Tipper events.
Pretty Lights does.
Pretty Lights, yes, exactly. Those curated events where it's like, they have lineups that have, the visual artists on it too. Like they're like shouting them out, like, giving credit where it's due type of stuff. Because like, there's some people that go to festivals just because of visual artists. Like, like Papa Bear visuals and stuff like that.
I definitely want to go to next festival I go to. I definitely want to go to something that's a little bit more has more interactive like art. Or things that are just
workshops and stuff
like that.
Exactly. Like we have that there. There's a disc golf tournament that's going to be at National Project, which is
36 hole disc golf tournament.
Some of the one of the last events too, I think it was on the Werewolves. They did like there's like this Relic was there and he was doing like an hour or 2 hour workshop on teaching people on like turntables and mixing, like scratching, like. And like people can learn these things, and like that's the cool thing about like people teaching like wire wrapping and stuff like that. Like exactly, not just sparking an idea, but like passing a torch, like giving people their own fire so that they don't have to keep seeking fire.
Teaching a man to fish.
Yeah, exactly, bro, man.
Exactly, a man to fish.
Exactly.
Some of the stuff I listen to a lot of the playlists. The ones that really stood out to me. All right, so I really like. Of course, I already talked to you about Moon Hooch, but that's. All right, so Moon Hooch, I was going to talk to you about because you don't know who they are.
Fucking name.
It's the only way I can describe it to somebody without playing it is hard jazz.
Hell yeah.
It's like that's kind of like how would you describe it, Martine?
I mean, honestly, I haven't really deep dove into it too much, but yeah, that's pretty much spot on the head. It's like it's some like elevator music that's elevated.
It's elevated.
It's
elevator music.
I like them, of course. Yoko.
Yeah. Stir Fry is another good one too. He's I think, where's he living at now? I'm trying to think. I know it's definitely southeastern region, but Stir Fry is some good stuff.
Yeah.
You got like another thing too, like being an eclectic lineup. Yeah, disco. Disco is like jam. They're very much inspired by like Papadosio. They used to go by a band named Over Easy. Well, some of the members.
Wait, I know.
They were at the first Astral Project.
Yeah.
And Over Easy was like a couple of the members of the band were in Over Easy. And they did disco now, which is really, it's just a fun time. Like you're out there and they have like some funny songs and they're doing flips and it's like live jam band, you got keys, you got drums, you got bass and like vocals and like they're doing like kind of like how like Papadosio or Eltrees McGee and stuff will do like different songs, but their rendition.
I'm
of their
pretty
stuff
key.
too.
Their renditions of songs are like amazing.
Oh yeah, no, yeah,
Like,
they're like live
I
DJ
didn't
bands. You know,
I
live
didn't get it
DJ
at
bands.
first, and then I'm like, there's this girl I used to work with at Topgolf was like, hey, they're playing somewhere, and she was like, you should definitely go see them. I was like, I haven't really got into them, and she sent me a bunch of their songs. I was like, oh, this is amazing. Like, okay, I get what they do now.
Yeah.
Another artist I liked was Flintwick,
Yeah.
Great Dane,
Oh yeah.
Vincent Atone.
Did you check out Resonant Language?
Yeah,
They're fire.
the nonsense song is sick. Cursa, the blunt fusion.
No, yeah.
that's dope.
Cursa is one of those like he just crushes.
Brian's not like super into EDM like.
Well, I mean, UK, like start getting into like the UK stuff, man. Look at the stuff like I understand
UK
like
drill?
no, like UK as in the country, United Kingdom, like London and
I'm thinking like the UK like drill like sound like there's like this.
no, they have like 140, which 140 is just towards the BPMs, but there's like specific types, which believe it or not, houses like most houses 140 BPMs. Drum and bass, most of it's 140, but like UK drum and bass is different. Liquid drum and bass is different. It's not just it's like there's halftime, there's whole different levels of it, and like. But like there's 140 grime, which is like the UK stuff, and that stuff
Grime,
or
grime's what
called
I'm
garage,
thinking of.
garage, like and it's like that shit like smacks this whole different ballpark, and like that's like the UK lyrics, they really make you think like type shit, like like I love those like lyricists like atmosphere and stuff like that. They paint a picture, but like it almost takes you a second to catch it. You're like, oh, what? And then you're catching the next one, catching the next one, MF Doom, stuff like that. Rest in peace. But yeah, like that's one thing that just like really gets me. I'm in for more like quality music now, not just that stuff. And people like don't get me wrong, there's still people that like that, like cool. It's just there's time and place for it, and like I've grown on to like stuff that's like more technical and stuff that I can appreciate more, and like there's another cool thing about like Astral Project is like they even got some like hip hop out there too on like local artist Grizzly like Grixley.
Yeah, I've heard him.
Yeah, he's a really cool dude. He's been around for a while. I've actually worked festivals with him and stuff before. He helps with like he did parking at like Bonnaroo, Okeechobee and stuff with the company. But yeah, good dude, really solid person. He's a goofy guy. But he has some good hip hop though too, like good bars, good lyrics, and like good production on the beats and stuff. But really excited for Astral Project coming up here. It's on April 11th through the 13th, I think it is.
Yeah, to the 13th.
Yeah, down there at Short Mountain Distillery.
Yeah, I love Short Mountain. Short Mountain really is it's a beautiful venue that I think really they're just starting to scratch the surface on what
they're starting to really develop into something now, which
like
is really cool.
I think you give that place 10, 15, 20 years from now, I think that's gonna be like
everything's a grassroots project, man. A grassroots project.
When it just like
it gets better with each year,
One like as the Woodbury area grows and like becomes more familiar, but then like even just like that area with how it's like naturally built. I mean, it's just like almost
that's like an actual amphitheater. Yeah, exactly.
Because you're like for real. Like,
it's one of the hollers. It's like where the old Shining Distillery was, or like it's still out there, like moonshine or shit. You gotta be hidden out there. Like usually the hills are a good spot because it's hard to fight battles on hills. Like but also too, like I heard that it was like old Native American grounds too. So there's like definitely a spiritual connection to it out there. This I've heard from some people and stuff. So
it's a really sweet spot. It's amazing. I've also thought about in the future, like it's starting to get more attention out there. Like we started out with the festival back in 2013, and now it's like, oh, it's cool to see somebody else like do their own thing out there. And I'm like, oh, more of that's gonna probably happen.
Oh yeah, that's their full intention. Yeah, they got the whole restaurant going out there too now. Like it's they got it going on for sure.
I definitely want to go to Camping Festival sometime within the next year. What would it be the top like 5 festivals you've gone to? Just for like, not necessarily for maybe things that happen, like just
but like weather wise and like
just like the setup of like the layout of the infrastructure and just like the effort that was put into. What are like some of the really good ones that stood out to you?
So Halloween, 2016 was my first Halloween experience.
Is it
And
gone now?
no, Halloween's still there. Okeechobee started.
Okeechobee.
That's another one on the list.
Okay, Okeechobee's
but-
yeah.
Number one, Halloween, Spirit Lake, Swanee Music Park, Spirit of Swanee Music Park.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, Spirit Lake, Live Oak, Florida is where it's located. But small cap out, right? It's less than 40,000 people each year. But when I went in 2016, it was like super eclectic lineup. And like that's what I like too. That's what I look for now. But as far as the weather goes, it's last week of October, so it's perfect. Northern Florida, last week of October, so it's nice, chilly nights, warm, not too hot during the day. Weather's too bad that time of year either. I think the one of the years that I went there, we caught rain one day.
Yeah.
But yeah, a little dusty though because of the sand.
Right.
We're in Bonner.
But yeah, I mean, yeah, shoot, yeah. If you can go to Bonner, you can rock. Halloween's a treat. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So, but they had like a bunch of cool artists that year. Like it's a string cheese festival, so they play every day, and that's like where Rothbury became Electric Forest, which is another good festival in my opinion. But Electric Forest was a string cheese festival, still is. But it got overcrowded so much to where they were doing 2 weekends. One was basically jam, one was basically EDM because the fans, they were like, people were like,
I want to go to both though.
right. And so they cut deals on like both weekend passes.
didn't
But
realize
who's
that.
gonna take 2 weeks out of the year for a festival, because like you travel all the way up to Michigan, you're gonna stay there throughout both weeks, not just the weekends,
Right.
But yeah, down at Halloween, they started doing that, it's like their late season forest down there, and like they have an art gallery that's really focused on the arts, a lot of interactive art in their like Spirit Lake area. So really cool art installments. Everybody's just on a whole vibe there. There's lots of workshops and stuff to do, interactive art like installations. But to just kind of like list off like some people on that first lineup was like Lettuce, Big Gigantic, Disclosure did a DJ set. Claude Von Stroke was there. Anderson Paak, I saw him there. Like so in Revolution, there's 5 different genres right
Yes.
there. And like to be able to have that all in one place in one weekend is like, Rufus Du Sol was actually there that year too. And that's when they're like young in it. That's 2016.
Yeah.
Like so there's
like Inner Bloom.
Right,
Like
right. And so like that's really cool. And like you get to see all these really cool like daytime sets, and then like nighttime they had like STS9 played like 2 sets I think that weekend, which was great. Manic Focus, Eodo was there too.
I've seen that. Yeah, they used to play Murfreesboro.
Mhm.
And Austin Parker's good friends with the drummer and
Jason.
we went back to Austin Parker. You heard this story before,
Hmm.
Brian? And so they played a show at 527 and whatever it was called at the time.
Gilligan's.
Gilligan's, yeah, that's
I
Gilligan's.
think it was
Okay.
Gilligan's, yeah.
You heard about Gilligan's. This is like
Yeah,
right
I've
before
heard
you can.
stories about Gilligan.
And
Mostly horror stories.
the party went to Austin Parker's house. So they were playing at their house, and so a bunch of people from the club came to his house. I have a few memories from that night. I can't talk about all of them, but one of them was like there's so many people in the house. We were downstairs and you can see the floor bowing.
Okay.
When we were downstairs, you can see it bowing. We're just like,
we all finna die.
hey, we should tell the Austin and everybody else who lives here. You know Steve-O?
Yeah, I messed
Yeah, Steve-O lived there too. It was a great night. Bobby Austin was there.
Shout out
Bobby
Bobby.
Knievel.
Bobby Knievel. Yeah.
I'll be kidding you.
Yeah, dude. Yeah.
Times 26.
You had Bonner that one year say he's gonna break that Mounties horse in half.
Yeah, dude.
It's like, how will Game of Thrones your horse?
We have a generator going, and the guy like turn on generator. He's like, "What? Everybody else has got generators. What the fuck?" And he's like arguing with this dude. And I'm like, "Yo, dude, we can just turn it off, and he leaves. We can turn it back on."
Right.
He's like, "No." He has this whole conversation with
that Buffalo, New Yorker.
he has this conversation with his mouth.
They wanted a generator. We wanted a
It's
generator.
one of those moments with Bobby is like when he was arguing with somebody and he was just like on point, just like the slick shit he was saying was, like, was so New York.
Gotta be quick with it.
I
Gotta be
was
quick with
I
it.
was like, dude, this is hilarious, but I'm not trying to get arrested or kicked out of here.
Right.
I don't even get arrested, but I was like, he was arguing with him, and Bobby was just like, all right, dude, whatever, okay, go feed your horse, dude.
Right. Go get us some kibble and bits. Yeah.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, might as well.
Good times.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, sir. I can't wait to see your.
Now we're all grown and matured.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know about the mature part.
Now
It's
we're
creeping.
older than we were.
We have insurance. Now. We got cars. And
I got some grays in my beard.
I'm old man stats. I got an RV now.
Oh,
That's right. That's right.
Right.
how long do you think till you have it like up and running like the way you want it? Well, I guess all right. So,
Oh, dude, it's gonna be at Astro Project. The flooring, like, so I had to order this special flooring. It's gonna take a few weeks to get that in, but I mean, I'll have it like up and like usable. At like
driving, but it won't be
next
pretty.
week. Oh no, it's gonna be pretty. Like, but just
Is that
like,
the 11th?
yeah, next week.
Actually, you know what? I haven't seen an actual picture of it yet.
Right? Oh, the RV.
Yeah.
I don't have an actual picture of it on my phone. I just showed you like the same model of it and whatnot.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's I just gotta do a little bit of outside workout. Like I said, they ripped out the AC unit, put spray foam in it, thinking that was sealed up. Excuse me. But thinking spray foam was sealed up. Yeah, I'm just like, and so like water leaked in, and so the water leaked in where the old unit was.
YouTube.
It got onto the floor.
YouTube.
Right, got onto the dude. I'm not even gonna talk about it too much, but these kids were just like the one reason why I came was selling this because he was too scared to drive. It's like they got down to Florida and the person that drove it like went to go work another festival and he was just like, well, I guess we just like live here now. Like, but yeah, so but yeah, no, so but basically the water dripped through and kind of rotted the floor in that one main traffic area and after they were working reggae rides up down there in Florida and they had some people staying in it while they were in town. And somebody put their foot through the floor, so there's a hole in the floor. And so I was like, all right. So last week when I was down there at where it's parked in Chattanooga, I ripped off the flooring and stuff, and I got my parts and material list and everything. Like pulled the whole Mike Torres, dad taught me all the shit that I need to know. Right, Tim Allen, Tim Allen, literally he's just the Mexican, he's just the brown person, yeah. But he Timmy, Timmy Allen, but he taught me a lot, which is cool, and it's funny because like I measured everything out, drew my blueprint and stuff, and like all my friends, like they've never seen this like carpentry side of me, and they're just like, oh, you know what you're doing. I call my dad just to be like, hey, and it's funny because he's like, oh, Dad, you actually fucking listen for once. Yeah,
I can hear his voice right now.
Yeah.
So, you don't know Martine. He will go hard in the kitchen. He will also go hard laying tile in your bathroom.
Right.
He'll go hard
Auto
on that
body,
flooring.
engine work, what you need, I got you.
Yeah, when we like had the house.
Right, just putting my phone number up on the podcast right now. It's like, call me now. Miss Cleo, call me now.
Fencing, drywall, gutters.
Okay, just tell me what you need done. I'll get it.
Like when we looked at the Wood Mansion and we were doing the backyard and then y'all made the fire pit. That thing was legit.
Yeah, that's dope.
Yeah, you guys you turned that backyard into an oasis.
Yeah.
We had a vision. We made it happen. We didn't even like know that was.
It's like a state troopers living there now. So,
oh really?
Yeah, that's
No
what.
way.
It's what the old roommates the ones that took over when we left. They said that fucking the landlord was like, oh yeah, there's a state trooper living there now, type shit. And so it's fucking hilarious. But yeah. So
That's
like
funny.
thinking of all the parties and stuff with the neighbors next door. So the neighbors next door found that the Jehovah's got what they wanted, a respectable neighbor.
They call their landlord. Like we're done with these DJ parties on the back porch.
Dude.
Well, I mean, that was during COVID, man. Like fucking we had live streams, these DJs still wanted to make music and we still wanted to like
I saw
do our thing.
flashbacks.
Well, it's also like what the fuck are we supposed to go do? Like we literally
we're
came
in our house.
home.
Yeah, I'm not gonna go crazy. Yeah, it's like yeah.
Remember Boogie knocked my TV down. I can laugh about it now, but
Right, but at that moment you're like,
I got a brand new TV, and I'm just like, it's just like, like it was directly after, like, all right, everyone can go back to work.
oh, so sorry, bro.
So like,
We still have to have Boogie on.
He's gonna be at Astro Project, man. That's good for the cleaning.
Oh, good for him. We need to have him on.
I wish I could
Absolutely.
if they had day passes, I would totally go.
They do.
They do a
Yeah.
day?
Yeah.
Hmm.
Go get in the RV.
Dude, I want to go for at least a day. I'll have weekends off.
We're gonna be doing a renegade stage out there too at the RV. So find us out there. But Chris Fun, he's one of the artists. That's another thing too. I want to talk about.
Chris Fun, I'm talking about
different artists,
skateboard.
like yeah, like there's good like actual like painters like Joy Smiles art. She's out of Chattanooga. I don't think Jesse James is on the lineup or hired to work the event, but I was gonna talk to him about coming out anyways because he's phenomenal artist. Like I have a couple custom or not custom, but original pieces of his art in my house, and he like crushed it. He'll start a painting in a show.
The ones you were
finish
showing
it.
me when I
Yes.
was over there last
Yes,
time.
and
Yeah.
he'll start him during a show, and like he paints fast and he gets it done, dude. Like, but he's I'm gonna try to talk him into coming out there because I saw Chris Fun the other night at the show, and Chris Fun has his Jeep with like a camper top on it and stuff, and so he's gonna park next to us with the RV. We're gonna do the Renegade. My brother Bert's up there. He's gonna have decks, and he's got like a speaker system. So we're gonna set up out there. Chris went next to us to have like art, like the painters, so like when they're not doing live paintings inside, they can keep painting out there and hopefully make sales and stuff too in the campground. And it gives people something to do late night because it's not like a big ass sound system, but we're gonna do it right to where you can't hear it until you walk up on it type shit.
Right.
That's how Renegade's supposed to be. That's the true like dub culture. It's like they're used to playing in basements with loudspeakers and stuff like that. And that's what we're about. That that dub.
I miss
like,
that environment.
like deaf shows and stuff like that, which it's deaf is define with the future, and like they're pretty cool. Like they do like shows underneath like bridges and stuff like that, old abandoned warehouses. Like that's how it started in Detroit and stuff. When I was a kid, I was going to like these warehouse shows, and that's in Tucson too. It's like warehouse shows like in the middle of the desert,
You ever been to a warehouse show before?
Oh no.
I went to one on New Year's Eve. I went to one on New Year's Eve.
I'm white and I look like a cop. I don't get invited to warehouse show.
Maybe it's because you're white. You look like
Well, I went with Martine one time for New Year's. I had to work the next day, so I was like,
you went with who?
I went with Katarina.
No. Cut that out. Cut that out. Just believe it.
And we went to this warehouse. It was like in South Nashville or something. And like, yeah, just keep driving. All right. So I finally show up, and they had like a little art installation in there, and
Yeah.
it was cool. It was interesting because they were like, we're gonna wait.
There's a bus out back with a sub in it and stuff.
Yeah, it was like a party on the bus afterwards. It was interesting. But like
The jacuzzi, hot tub, like pool on a trailer.
yeah, I didn't go. I think I had to
That was
go.
after Papadocio New Year's.
Yeah, I had to go to work the next day, and like I honestly didn't have much of a plan. I feel like I'm going to work tomorrow. Where I'm going tonight, I didn't have much of a plan at that time. So this dude was like, oh, I live right next to the venue. And so I ended up crashing on his couch for like probably a couple hours.
Uh-huh.
What wakes me up? Explosion. A big like boom, like rocks the little like warehouse home I'm in. I'm like, oh my God, was that a gunshot? I don't know what's going on. I'm in this house by myself, and I'm like, dude, something's going on. I heard something's not normal.
Thinking gunshots or something.
I didn't know what it was, so I'm like, oh, can I look for a knife in the house? I'm like, okay, it finally happened. I don't know what that is, but it's happening right now. And I'm like, I'm
movie theater shooting.
and there's no like blinds in this place. So I'm like, only way I can see what's happening is if I open the door, and I'm like, okay. So I like creak this door open. I'm like looking around. I'm like, I don't really see anything. There's a bunch of people sitting around down there. I'm like, well, it does seem like something really, really bad happened. Yeah. I walk out there. They're throwing spray paint cans in a fire.
Yeah. There's a guy out there at the warehouse that does like pyrotechnics for stages and shit like that. He's like really just a pyromaniac that has a job doing it. And like everybody's just like, he's just like, oh, you guys look good. And I'm sitting there and I'm still cooking from last night. It's like fucking we're slapping the last bits of the wine out the bag and stuff.
Oh, yeah. That's some shit on the fire.
Yeah, cool, boom. Like, but yeah, I guess the
It's like,
EPA probably wouldn't like that too much, but it was cute.
Hey, things went boom.
Yeah, things went boom.
boom.
Things went boom and nobody died. That's the kind of fun I like.
That's a US of A, brother, right there.
No, USA is booming many people.
Many hospitals say elementary schools.
Right.
Women and children.
Get your passport now, folks.
Thanks for the oil.
Oh, actually, I found out too from my homie the other night that if your grandparents are from another country, you can actually apply for dual citizenship. So
Oh,
my
yeah,
grandparents
sure.
being from Mexico on my dad's side, I might be a resident of Mexico here pretty soon, y'all.
Might as well.
Man,
Just in case shit goes kaput here, I can get out of this country and
You got no choices.
Yeah, I could be on the other side of the gun for once.
You're probably fucked, Xavier.
Yeah.
Wouldn't know where you're gonna go.
All she knows is gone. What's up, Civil War?
I can smuggle him into RV.
Yeah.
The big ass
One more
suitcase.
time.
You said you like tequila, right? We're going to the motherland.
Plus you're white, so they'll let you in them, bro.
Oh, dude, yeah, I'm just gonna look like
Yeah,
we are the
we just-
Millers. You know,
We're here on a family vacation. Oh, yeah.
I gotta raise an eyebrow when they read my ID on the passport. And they're like, it's a fake part, sir. We're gonna need you pulled into this other line over here.
Yeah, man.
We're gonna do DNA samples, animal probing.
What's that for? Shut up.
Well, this bottle doesn't look Mexican.
You pulled out a taco. It's confirmed.
Some people call it a corn chucker. I call it a bean slinger, you know. Ice free
That's good. That's good.
Dude, it's we wouldn't have you on for a long time.
Yeah, dude. Yeah,
It's good to
dude.
be
It's
back.
probably
It's
been
good.
too long to have. Man, now that I know that you're so close again, we'll have to
let's
do
kick
it
it
again.
more, man. I
Shit.
do be leaving the state a lot, like
Yeah.
traveling for work and stuff, but usually I'm pretty good during the weeks. The weekends are kind of busy, but there's a lot of shows in the area. Excuse me, man. That cruise light be hitting with that pizza.
brother.
But no,
Brick
yeah.
City Motor Pizza.
We should do another one after Astral Project, like a
Absolutely.
post game.
Yeah, post game.
report.
Yeah.
Give us what
I'm
happened.
gonna come back just like and the air still.
What'd you see, boy? What'd you see?
So how'd you
Speak.
It's shell shocked.
how'd you get tied in with Lucid Minds?
Tyler, he's been a
What
really
up,
good. Yeah, shout out Tyler. He's been really
His
good.
government last name.
Yeah.
Player.
The first job I had was with his uncle Keith.
Yeah, his last name.
Brian
Yeah.
Player wouldn't be that good though. You
I
know,
know,
first
but
name
like-
too.
When your last name's playing, like,
Mhm.
I don't know.
You have no choice.
Yeah, it's like, my Xbox gamer tag I'm to play with, but so anyways, Tyler, he's been a good friend for a long time and stuff. And it's funny because during COVID he was staying at my house because like he used to go out and like work festivals and stuff too. And like he was like in town coming through and ended up just like staying on the couch and ended up becoming like one of my very, very close friends, and he needed a place to stay. So I was like, fuck it, just live here, ride out COVID together. And we, got all fucked up one night and we were just talking about how we miss music and we were basically throwing mini festivals in my house. So it's like, why don't we create our own, and sat down and that's kind of like, how I got into like the music and stuff. I mean, you wouldn't believe how easy it is to actually find or like reach out to these artists like through SoundCloud and stuff. Cause like a lot of the stuff we were doing is like underground. We're not like going for like super big names. It's gonna cost like I think at one point I got a little overzealous and I was like, dude, I want to get fucking Young Dolph recipes. Like, I was like, how cool would it be to throw a festival with Dolph? Like, because like we're looking at a bunch of different genres. And his was like a minimum of like 30 racks to get him out. And it was like, I can't do that, but yeah, no, just reaching out on SoundCloud, like different artists and stuff too. Like, Earthcry, Anthony, one of the members of Pop Docio, pretty easy to get in contact with him. But yeah, like once you just like really kind of sit down and look into things, you realize everything's really more obtainable than you think. And like, I think that's what COVID really did, shell shock the world and made everybody like snap out of the everyday,
And sit back.
monotony and like kind of put things into perspective and like you start exploring different avenues and realize that you are capable of making a life without having to be a slave to work. And like you start to really take and appreciate your time. And Tyler and I sat down and we started like reaching out to artists and he, got a good team of people together. And the first year, it was a little hectic. You can tell it was a first year festival. Like, there's like,
I've been
it was, there's some organization, but there's, a lot of leaks and it's hard to patch up these leaks. And, a lot of people, there's, too many chiefs, not enough Indians sometimes. And sometimes there's not enough hands to help make it happen because, once again, there's smaller festivals. Some people are out there just trying to get, fucked up and not like actually staying focused on. That's where, this year they got a really solid team. second year they really like took it up a notch too.
Yeah.
But it was once again that the second year was like right after COVID, like receded or whatever, and like things are starting to get back into the flow. So people were like really focused on jobs, trying to get their money up, and so there wasn't like as heavy of a turnout as we had expected. But with the third year now, they got solid team. Their side ops is great. Their talent, hospitality stuff's gonna be well taken care of. You got great medical safety. That's always the number one priority. Like when it comes to a festival, like when we were doing the Rue refugees and boundary cancel, I started calling up people. Like I knew somebody that.
Yeah, you really did help put so much of that together.
Yeah, I mean, it was just like it birthed in my room, boundary cancel. And I started reaching out to local artists because I knew they were here, and like started reaching out to people. Like Cam and them had mentioned in our group chat that they had found a property, and we were already looking at 2 other properties to throw this event at. But Cameron already said like, hey, we got room for 120 of us, and I reached out to him. I was like, what about like 500 or 1,000 people?
Yeah.
Like, and then it turned into even more than that.
They're like, yeah, just balls deep, and they're like,
because it's just like
bring some other people in too.
Right. I just literally put on this thing like on Facebook. I made a post. I was like, hey, think about it. Like, Bonnaroo canceled. Let's try to preserve the spirit of Bonnaroo. There's like 40,000 people in from out of town. They've been waiting for 2 days to get into the festival, but they kept pushing it off. And then finally they're like, we're canceling. And so all these people are like low morale and stuff. It's like, well, let's at least give these people a place to at least camp out. Before they drive home and stuff. Yeah, have something to go, something to do. Dude. And like, hit up some people like, Matt Cooper, shout out to him. He was like, very tied into a bunch of the jam around the area and stuff. So he's hitting up, people like Sacred Hollow and stuff, which Alex King is part of that band, and he's a really cool guy. Like met him through a few other people back in the day and stuff. And like, all these different other bands that like just an eclectic lineup thrown together within 36 hours before we were out there on site. And that was crazy. And like it wasn't done just by one person. It just started in one spot with a collective of about 5 of us, and we were all on our laptops hitting up people, like answering calls, and it was just nonstop.
Yeah,
and like, get out there. I went out there to meet up with everybody, and we stopped at Walmart beforehand. I thought I was gonna be able to go home, so I showed up there in my slippers and my robe and stuff, just to go look at the property and say, hey, this is how I think we should set it up, because like at that point I'd been to a lot of festivals and seen how they operate and stuff. And like I had hit up, Spin Chill with his bus, and that was when he was still like starting up with the bus. And to see that bus now, they're doing big events like Electric Forest. They're going out to Texas.
Cool. I saw it.
Yeah, it's so much better now. Like they have like full on mapping projections, and they change it up each time too. It's always something new. So it's like a really cool aspect of like Spin Chill and the Bussy. But like they're out there, I hit him up. He was one of the first people because like I was calling around and looking at all these stage rental companies, because Billy and them didn't have a stage really out there yet. They had a platform of wood with an outlet, and then their little shiner stage too, which that's cool. But then I was like, we need an actual stage and lights and stuff. So all in one shop was hitting up Spin Chill, and now he's riding around like there's like 3 years
Turner
ago.
And
Mike
Dodd.
I'll say and then like but I was like just thinking stage, and then Turner, of course, we hit him up, and he was like, yeah, like, and he was up in New York and drove all the way down with more speakers and stuff, like it's like crazy. And like Kyle, he was like, hit up my boy Kyle, rest in peace. And Kyle was like, let's do it, man, like let's go. Like, and so it was really cool to see all that come together and everybody work together. And that's kind of like what's happening now in Nashville, is like what we've been kind of like really preaching is you got all these different production companies doing their different thing, and they're all doing it like either on the same night as each other, bless you, either on the same night as each other, and like it's stepping on toes and people aren't all eating. But now they're starting to really like balance it out, like, oh, you take this event and get your money, and like kind of like balancing it, because everybody's coming together and working together. It's not just one production company running something. There's, they're working together in unison, like Sacred Hive and Lucid Minds are little working together and stuff. You got Avery Entertainment, Full Circle, and like Disco Donnie Presents, Party Basics. Fucking they're all like working together a little bit more, because they're starting to realize like if divided we fall, together we stand type shit. Because you got if we don't start working together now, the way Nashville's growing. And Live Nation's already got a little bit of a presence here, but they're a multi-million-dollar company, billion-dollar company out of Vegas, and they're gonna see all this potential to take all this money and like try to just like take over and monopolize. And it's like, if we don't start working together now and like claiming where we're at and get over the whole clicky bullshit of like, we've been here house music for a long time and there won't your music in my venue type shit, then you're never gonna get anywhere. But if you open up the doors and you like expand, then you start to get the crossover of people being like, oh, well, I might come to this venue again next week because I had such a good time, and they're playing a whole different genre of music that I ended up finding out I
get
love.
some variety.
Get some variety.
There's a deal of like friendly competition, and that can
Have you
drive
been
results.
Have you been to? I don't know the name of it. I think we talked to Wicked about it. What's that new like nightclub in Nashville?
Talking about The Office, or
I haven't been to the office.
or the Red Lounge.
I saw something about the office. I haven't been there.
Red Lounge.
How's that?
The Office is awesome. It started out as a small spot. It's like over underneath the Taco Ramen off Main Street. But it started out small and they blew out the wall and like made it way bigger. So it's a lot more comfortable now. Really cool spots, underground, literally. So they can be loud late and not have to worry. Yeah, the Red Lounge is pretty cool. Vinyl Taps is pretty cool. Or Vinyl Lounge. There's a lot of really cool little spots opening up, and they're only getting more and more.
Night We Met.
The Night We Met, is that the
The
one?
Night We Met.
Is that Chattanooga?
That's the name of it. Brand new nightclub heading to Nashville. So it's it's the first of its kind, which is probably not true. But it's a team behind Deep Tropics.
Oh yeah. So that
Have you been to that one?
No, I haven't. I have not. No. I think that's Full Circle, isn't it? Deep Tropics.
Yeah.
But yeah, like that's cool. I'll definitely check it out once it becomes a thing.
Full Circle. Yeah.
I also heard that Up Down, the barcade, their basement they're turning into a music venue. One of my buddies over there was telling me they're gonna turn that
Where's
into.
Up Down at?
That's East Nashville, right there over by where
You been to
Edgefield
it?
Lakeside Lounge
think
is.
I've
It's like
been
5 Points area.
Okay.
But yeah, it's a barcade, multi-story barcade, but they're talking about turning the bottom into a music venue as well. So that's why I heard in the wind out there, which would be really cool to get some talent in there, because then you got a whole barcade aesthetic to add to it, where people are like, oh, you want to cool off from some music for a second, go play some skee ball, or get down some pinball for a second, type shit. And yeah, that's like, people need to start really like focusing on, like I said, working together, because if you don't start doing it now, then it's not gonna happen.
The more people help each other, the competition isn't like looked at in a bad way. It's like if people are like, hey, who can I help, instead of just like, who can I screw over? Everything would be so much better. Like, that sounds so obvious, but I mean,
like the French and Indian War, French and Native American War, like the French and the Native Americans were both like fur trap traders. England's come in to just try to take over and fuck everybody and like get their fur and stuff from the Native Americans, and like the French were fur trap traders out there. Like this is history up where I grew up in Michigan, and like so the Native Americans and the French, they worked together to overthrow the Britons and get them the fuck out.
Yeah.
Like that's one of the like cool parts of history, and like it's the same shit if you look at it. You got a big monopoly trying to take over everything, and like fucking like Live Nation events, there'll be some bottles of water for like $8 and shit. It's like, that's fucking ridiculous. Like that bottle of water costs you like 30 cents, and these people need to hydrate, otherwise they're gonna die. And like if you don't have, and yet you don't offer like free water or like good water. And so like that's one of the things, like with a lot of our events, and like with some events that I went to recently, like down in Atlanta, there's free bottled water and stuff. And like like free bottled water, or if not like $1. Which is super fair.
It's really cool when they do stuff like that. I went to a Red Bull event one time, and it was like $2 to see. This is gonna sound horrible. I can't remember who it was from Wu-Tang, but I saw someone from Wu-Tang perform for $2.
Method Man or RZA?
It wasn't RZA.
Jizza.
RZA.
I mean Jizza.
Raekwon and shit.
ODB.
No. Yeah, I saw him perform. It was crazy. No, I didn't see him. Yeah, but it was like 2,000, probably like 11. Yeah, $2 to get in. I was like, that's dope. And then they had like a deal with I think it's like 312 beer or something. Goose Island or something. They were selling those for $2 too. It was pretty sweet deal.
Yeah, another really good festival I went to, when I put it in the top, was Soul Fest. I went there for their first year.
Alabama?
Yeah, so it was originally supposed to be at Lily Pad Junction in Florida, but one of the owners of the Lily Pad Junction passed away. like the week of the festival. And so they moved it to Bama Slam in Alabama, which they moved it up there. And it was really cool because this place was like a big ground for ATVs and stuff. And like the last festival they threw there was a country music festival. And it was really cool because we went out there being like the bass community. We had a bunch of UK artists. The bus was there too, the Bussy bus. So they had like spin shows out there. They had they had KLO, which Cursa. There is who else was out there? Mr. Bill. There was
Bill.
dude, it was crazy awesome, good time. And like the lineup was super eclectic. Now they're going a little bit more mainstream with their stuff there, but it's like good artists like Liquid Stranger and stuff like that. But they had a really like it was a small turnout, so it's super homey feel. It almost felt like somebody's dope birthday party, which is kind of cool because the people that threw it were doing it as a memorial festival for one of their friends that passed away. And so but when we were out there, like there's a man-made pond that has a rope swing on it and like zip line. There's like a floating trampoline on it. So you have beach vibes. And there's a bar there on it too, kind of like Short Mountain Distillery's got a little bar on it. But it was funny because they didn't, since it was such short notice stuff, they didn't have festival prices on the drinks. So I was out there getting like double tall tequila, or tequila sodas with cranberry and a lime for $4 the first 2 nights. And then they started kicking the prices up as they run low on liquor. And so like it was $6 by the end of the weekend. And I drank out like not me personally, but all the tequila was drank outside on the last night. But on the last night, I had to switch to whiskey because all the tequila was gone. Damn. But it was still a good damn time, you know? And like it was awesome too, because like everybody was there having a good time. And like I said, like there's like Yeti Sunrise. They sold out their bar, so the owners were happy. And it was funny because like we were walking around, excuse me, and I saw the owner when we were walking. Like I didn't know it was the owner, but we were walking, and guys, just like a big old redneck dude. And like there's people that live in the area, and it's all ATV trails. That's what they run it as year round, is like ATV trails, canoeing, kayaking, like a campground type shit. And so there's people like rednecks on their ATVs and side by sides driving through. And like, what's going on here? Like, and like
with all these
what kind of bass festival is this?
With their fucking where y'all were talking about bass all night.
I see a goddamn fish
Thursday through Sunday. It said bass all weekend, brother.
Right. And so it was the owner, which like we hadn't known yet, but he's walking and he's like, what do y'all think about it? And I'm like, man, it's awesome. Told him basically what I just told y'all. And he's like, yeah, he's like, well, we might actually start doing this each year. Like, he's like, I own the place and stuff. And he was he's like, man, I found some good mushrooms out here. And he's like tripping, like being real bubbly and friendly. Like, so yeah, it was just like, just a redneck dude. And it was like the last concert they had there was like, I think it was like Tim McGraw and like fucking Billy Ray Cyrus, like all this like country stuff. And he was like, man, he's like, I was like, what do you think about us being here type deal? And he's like, man, honestly, this is the best crowd yet. So everybody's really happy, colorful and stuff. He's like, when we have these like, I'm gonna say hillbilly redneck fest, there's people out there with shotguns in the campgrounds that they're having to like go out there and be like, whoa, before we get the police involved, put your fucking drunk ass down and shotgun away type shit, And like, but like nobody out there had guns and shit. And we were picking up our trash. He was like, dude, the trash was ridiculous after those like fucking hillbilly shows and shit. And we're out there, like he's like walking around seeing people pick up cigarette butts and stuff like that. Like, people are more mindful in our scene. And so he was just like, we'll definitely do it again. So he did it the next year. The next year was a way better turnout. Some they're doing it again this year. But yeah, that was a really cool festival experience. And like after that, we went down to, because we're only like 2 miles from the beach. And so we went down to the golf, was stayed in a hotel in like Fort Myers for a couple days, which was a cool experience.
Isn't that when you
that's the headiest, like one of the headiest trades I ever made besides the RV now. But like, yeah, we went down to the hotel, we booked through like a third party, and the room was not to any of the requirements that I asked for. And it was like $75 more than just booking at the desk. And like the dude at the desk was like, because like I asked for 3 things. I was like, hey, you guys got like breakfast buffet, like, because we're all gonna want to eat before we hit the road. I wanted not just like beach. I didn't need like beach view patio. I just needed a patio so we don't have to go down outside to smoke and stuff, And then I asked for something with 2 beds and a couch because there's like 5 of us. And none of those requirements were met. And I get there, and dude's like, the third party was like still trying to shaft me on it. They're like, yo, I paid you guys like for a service. I found out I can get the same room for like $75 cheaper, $100 cheaper. And you didn't even meet the requirements that I asked for. I had to pay for breakfast there. I didn't have a patio, and there was no like couch in it. And so, dude at the front desk was like, "Well, we got another room that I can help you out with." Like, there was a lady that was like staying in this room and bitching about having one of the light bulbs, not even like all the lights were out in the bathroom, just one bulb.
Yeah.
And so she was bitching about, so they moved her into another room, and dude moved me into the room, and he's like, he heard the call because we had a 3-way call with this third party, and I was like, I want my money back. And he's like, okay, it'll take a couple business days to get there. I was like, well, I used the last of my money to book this that I have digital, and they won't take cash, blase, blase. And so what ended up happening is the guy at the counter, he saw my frustration stuff. He saw us, he was like, oh, like cool. And like janitor dude was like, man, you dress cool like me. Like, and I was like, man, trying to get like you, type shit. And he was really cool. He's like the janitor from Dave Chappelle. Like, like that's what he reminded me of. But we go down there, and they're really great people at the desk. Basically, they saw my frustration. He was just like, put the guy on mute while he's on speakerphone. We're having a 3-way call. He's like, here's what I'm gonna do. He's like, I'm gonna charge their company card for this room, and then they're gonna get your refund from them in 2-3 days. I'm like, sweet. And so I had traded them like some merch and stuff because they really liked our clothes and stuff. And so we traded them some merch on that. It's probably like, I don't know, I'd say like $50 worth of stuff. Because like one of my friends there, she was like one of the live painters running the art gallery there at Soulfest. So we had all this dope shit still. And we're like, here, and they're like loving it. And so we traded that, basically got a beachfront resort. The dude gave me it's like 5 buffet passes, so like $75 worth of food. 5 buffet passes, which include and he gave us complimentary drinks from the bar, like a $50 tab.
Hell yeah.
Like to get us started. Gave us beachfront like umbrellas and shit.
Dude, nice.
Yeah, like
like big old ones.
Yeah. So you got to the beach, so we're literally like at a resort. So it's like, open up the back door, there's a little lazy river. There's the cabana bar, and then there's the beach. And and we had a room that was facing the beach with a patio and all that. So like basically like a $350 room, for free.
Yeah.
And just like traded, like that's like one of the headiest trades I've ever made. Like that, and then like the So
all right, so do you know the exact number of festivals you've been to?
No.
Can you guess?
I mean, just in 2 years, I had like 32. Is like I had like 16 one year and then 15 the other, and then a bunch of curated events in between.
I start life over. I'm going that route.
Yeah.
Festival hop.
Yeah, let's see.
For like a couple years.
So
I would say like around 75. Like,
if you've done
I'm
15 festivals
amateur.
there for the last like what 6 years?
Yeah, I mean since
I've been 75.
10 years has been a decade.
All right, so out of all the festivals,
So that's like 7-year average, like that deal. 6, 7. I'd say like 60 or maybe.
What's like an event or something that happened at a festival that runs past your mind once in a while? You're like, oh shit, that happened. What's something that's like something you can tell that's like you're like, oh my god, that just went down.
Well, I saw this one dude. We were at this festival out in Arkansas, Reconnection, a few years ago, and there was a set going on. I think it was actually Of the Trees was playing.
I love Of the Trees.
Right, and
I love Of the Trees.
Some fucking douche nozzers out there with balloons, like right, like at the stage type shit, and these big guys with like an Eastern accent. Like New York or Philly or something, I don't know. They just come running like, "What the fuck are you doing?" Like, you take that shit to the campground, like type shit. And fucking this guy's like, "No, I bought this." Like they fucking take it away from him. He's like, "Yo, that's mine." He like stands up, drops his wallet, and I see one of the other dudes like pick up dude's wallet, and then they like snatch him up, fucking hit him in the face a couple of times. They just dragged him and everything away, and I was just like, Yeah.
I just
So,
have.
like, yeah, yeah, I know. I was just like, whoa, that was crazy.
Dude,
And then, like, I mean, another crazy one too is like, take proper stakes to stake down your shit. After seeing the tornado at Bonnaroo that one year,
I saw the
seeing that-
video.
oh, damn.
I don't know if it's even possible.
Yeah, it's a
Because
cyclone of air. You think about it, you got lanes whipping down of all these tents. So it just takes one of those, like, I mean, you got air current going this way, and then one of those tents reaches out just enough just to curve that air
It
up another
looks-
lane
the
and it
video
causes a
looks-
cyclone.
it looks unreal. People are like, oh my
It happened at Sonic Bloom and stuff too, like several years ago. Like Maddie, she's talking about that shit when she went that year,
yeah.
2016 or 17, something like that. And
Just wow.
yeah, it's just like it's crazy to see stuff like that. And then there's, I guess that those are probably like two like crazy experiences. Soundhaven several years ago, or like 3-4 years ago, dude, they climbed the rafters was Monkey Bar. And
I remember being at your
yes,
house and being
yeah.
like talking about it. I was like, man, that dude okay? And the dude was like, yeah, it was me.
Yeah, yeah.
I was like, dog, what happened?
He was actually one of the homies type deal.
He was like, oh, this is too fucked up. I was like, you good? He's like, yeah, I broke mine. He like named the bones he broke. He's like, I'm okay though. And I was like, man, like, besides you're right.
It's not like 3 months later at our summer camp up in fucking
Yeah,
Illinois.
Chillicothe, yeah.
Yeah, I
That's
saw
like
him.
45 minutes from
Was he like in a body cast? I
No,
can't
he was on a
remember.
hover round. He was on a hover round, whipping around. He's like, nah, I get all access ADA and shit.
He did that shit on purpose. He's up there. He's up there on the rafter. Like, how can I get into more festivals? Better access.
He's just like, he was out there like a celebrity almost for being a dumbass. But like, that was like one of the things that too, like he didn't think about like the people that were affected by that there too. There's a lot of people out there like, fucking there to enjoy a show. And that shit, like, scarred them. Like, I have a couple friends that were just like, I've heard a couple people be like there's posts on Reddit be like, we'll never be back to that fence, like, because of this. And there's, some other issues and stuff too, which, that's the thing about these little festivals, like, they get done proper, they're done proper, but sometimes, there's always gonna be something wrong.
Yeah.
There's always going to be something, and that's where your team has to like be really good with like rolling with the punches and stuff like that. And I think a lot of these people in these teams are now more developed. They got their feet wet, not just the toes now. So they know what to expect and stuff, and everything's a learning process. So
I have fond memories is at Rue Refugees. Actually, I'm sorry, at Greenway Festival. When the weather started getting bad and we're all like huddled like in the restaurant and we were out there playing CeeLo, dude. It was
Nice as
so much fun.
yeah.
That was a wild night too.
There was like lightning and thunder and we're all just rolling dice. It was raining. And then inside this place, who was DJing? Who was it?
Was it Cherubs?
Yeah. They were doing their DJing, but they got shut down and it was, I don't know. I got to see like maybe 3 shows.
Yeah.
I didn't get to see nothing. I didn't see Russell Lakewood. I was really wanting to see Russell
was,
Lakewood. Brian, you're not really big into EDM, but do you think you can get into more like dub? Because I'm like, you're big on reggae.
I dabble in dub.
In your car,
some stuff.
in your car, what do you play?
I fuck with some different like dubstep artists. Sure. Well, see, I grew up. I got into dubstep like everybody else did. Yeah, I got into.
He's actually come back. So Skrillex, like, he actually really is getting more like his new stuff is dub music, not just dubstep. So, Skrillex, he was like one of the pioneers in dubstep. He went to the UK and saw dub, and then like he's Sonny Moore from what was that band? Sonny Moore.
He was a guitarist, right?
Screamo, yeah. He was like one of the singers, and he blew his vocal cords out. So that's when he got into DJ. He went to the UK, saw dub, and dubstep was different. So there's actually a documentary on YouTube. It's called "All My Homies Hate Skrillex." It talks about like the birthplace of dub being Jamaican dub, taken off in the UK. He went there, learned it, came here, and kind of like. And from their eyes, bastardized it, but he created American dubstep, which is cool. Like we respect it here.
Yeah.
But
so he's a godfather of American
dubstep. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And so that being said, like he learned that, and like him and like I guess Ill Gates would be another one.
Who cares? He was cool.
Ruska was like more like techno, but dubstep too, influence. But anyways, so Skrillex kind of turned it into his thing. But a lot of people gave him flack for it. And so then after a while, Skrillex kind of goes into hiding.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've seen him now when he came back and did that stuff with like Fred again and stuff. But where he's like healthy looking, he's cut and stuff,
He
dude.
cut
Like,
his hair too,
yeah,
right?
yeah,
He looks
and, like,
different.
he's in shape and stuff. Like, you know, he doesn't look just like a dweeb with a haircut. And, like, no disrespect. No, but like, no, he looks great now, and like, and he's gone back to like being more like, I guess maybe he saw that documentary or heard about it and like kind of changed it up a bit, but he proved that he is, you know, a true dubstep DJ. Like, he's playing a lot of like the fucking you know, UK grime 140 and like his stuff, like, you know, Killers in the Jungle, like, you know,
It's
and,
getting
like,
bigger here in the United States, I've
and it's
noticed.
starting to take over, and that's what like, and like I've been about this shit for years, and like this is the shit that I was like trying to put people on. Like, remember when I was like driving to Oklahoma, so I'm like, check this out, like check
Oh
this
man,
out.
the
Like,
playlist on
yeah.
Oklahoma was nuts.
yeah, and
I
like
feel like maybe all right, so personally listen to indie music. I'm not like always listening to new stuff, but I have like a probably 400 artists like playlist where I like scroll through stuff sometimes. I picked a long time ago. But like experimental bass to me seems to be at the forefront of EDM right now. Like it's the most popular genre here, at least here in America, right?
right, yeah, and also too, it's like, you know, the scene now too. It's like, you know, with the bass scene, there's like a code to the people out there. Like, look at Voldemort, you know, bass nectar. Like, you know, sorry I said that. You
Rest
can
in
bleep it
peace.
out, whatever. But like, you know, the scene, like, you know, a lot of people
Now
like
we got Immersive though. We don't need him.
Mercer was like kind of ghost producing a little bit for bass nectar. And like,
Uh-huh.
yeah, well, I mean, bass nectar used a lot of his stuff. There's a lot of other artists and stuff out there too that were being used. And anywho, like, you know, the bass scene though, like, you know, even like Lauren's community was like, yo, that's fucked up, because one of the big things about those bass nectar curated events and stuff was there's always like the Haven, which was a safe place. He had his ambassadors that are out there handing water, making sure people are okay. Hey, you need anything?
Yeah, I
Hey,
went to
fine.
one at
And like,
Firstone.
and that's like what this community is about. Like, and then like especially in like the dub and underground scene, like we don't like it, like the moment we hear about like somebody being a predator type shit or whatever, and like safety's being like compromised for the scene or the people, you get that fucker out of there, you know, type shit. And like, there's no room for assholes and fucking, you know, the people that are, you know, trying to be, you know, predatory and stuff like that. So like, you know, and it's kind of improved. Like, Base Nature came back. He threw an event in Vegas, and there was a turnout. Wasn't quite what he was expecting, and he was trying to throw another event down in, I think it was Atlanta. It was pretty close to here.
Dude,
And
he
they
tried a
canceled
couple-
on it.
he
They
tried a
canceled on it. And then you tried to throw one in Vegas. Yeah, New York canceled on it. And then there's another, he was like, all right, well, Vegas let me do it. So he went back to Vegas to try and do something. And they canceled it on him too. They're like, hey, buddy, like, we kind of caught some more news on you stuff. And like, you can go back and
Yeah.
listen to stuff. And it's like, you know, you can cut it however you want. What he did wasn't right. And like, we're gonna hold true to being like the community that we are. Like, there's so many other great talent out there. And that's one of the things that I really love about you know, but like, don't get me wrong, I was a big Bass Nectar fan too. I was going to his shows and stuff too, like, and curated events. But like, you know, he being gone let everybody else get a little bit of the shine, you know, a little bit of the, yeah, exactly. And like, so now you got all these other artists and stuff, and people are getting bigger followings and stuff because of that. And like, it's kind of awesome. And like, you're getting more world artists and stuff over here now too, like come from the UK.
Yeah.
Like, you know, so
One thing I really enjoy and I value about like EDM music is the sound engineering that goes into stuff. Because like you can listen to like rap music, you can listen to a lot of bands, you can listen to pop music, you can listen to country, but a lot of the sounds, individual sounds and things people tweak within EDM
absolutely
is so vast. There's certain people who have figured out a certain sound and you're like, that's amazing. A track turns on, you know exactly what it is just from the production. It's like
right.
there's
Everybody's
not
got their own little flavor that
they
you can hear.
there's so much more. I don't know what it is, but there's so much more put into a lot of it than there is just like
Right.
mainstream like rap music. It's like there's like the triplet like hi hats like in all the songs.
Yeah, marching band drums and stuff, you know.
And then like EDM, it's like
it's so
huge.
vast.
It's vast, and
you
I
got
love it.
turntablism, scratching hip hop samples. You got vocals and jingles from like commercials and people like like Straight Roots, he'll use stuff like clippings from like Adventure Time, the show and stuff.
And there's more
like
Burke's brother Burks, he'll use like clippings from fucking his favorite show, King of the Hill. Like so it's kind of funny, but it's still like dope. Like
there's so much more put into like I think EDM music than anything else because if you think about like there's been some like country like rap crossovers also, but there's even some of that in EDM too, and then there's I don't know.
Salty Dubs, like he did this dope song that's got a sample from Jimmy Neutron in it, like the cartoon,
Yeah.
and it's so hard, like the beat behind it. And then there's he also and like in that same song, there's a sample from Kung Fu Panda. Like and it's just like you're like whoa, like we were like it's funny because when we were in Florida, we were sitting there watching Kung Fu Panda. We did like a little like marathon, like my girl Drew was watching it and like we're all sitting there watching it and she heard the part from the song and she's like, that's where that's from. We're like, yeah. Like, and we're so geeked on it because it's just
The
like
dots connect.
right, yeah, like, it's pretty funny and
That's
so
hilarious.
yeah, it was really cool. And like that's the thing is like you were saying, so eclectic and so vast, and like each artist you can typically tell, like Jade Cicada, you can really tell when he's making something.
Oh yeah, like Of the Trees, like one of my favorite producers, like his EP, The Tale of the Legos, like didn't like change my life, but also
open your eyes.
I listen to that thing over and over. And I still do.
Find new layers in it and stuff.
And it's one of the only albums he's ever put out. I'm waiting for another one. He just put out a Red Rock show. I haven't seen it yet. It's gonna be on YouTube. I think it's on like the highest quality you can watch a show in. But
yeah, he just released that. We watched it like fucking 4 times already.
I'm watching it. I saw him.
He's coming back. He's doing the same event this year in November.
Morning.
Oh shit!
It's November. Think about it.
In Nashville?
No, Red Rock. Same theater in Colorado.
That album is like it's an EP and it's like 5 songs and I'm like, I want more. I don't know when he's putting out another album, but I'm really looking forward to it. He's one of the artists that really stands out to me too. Like Immersive and who's the other person who came out in like around 2019, 2020? Starts with an M. Memba. Memba is sick. Like some people just get it.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of DJs or people who aren't really into EDM music just think people are pressing play.
Right.
These people are like producers first.
I don't think you make it to that. Like, there's a certain level.
The people who really,
it's like you gotta know your shit at some point.
Right. Oh, and there's just so much like as I'm like learning Ableton, there's so many like filters and instruments you can use, and it's like there's parameters.
It's ridiculous.
One parameter changes this, and there's like a soundscape, and there's a filter and oscillator 1, 2, and 3, and then there's so much you can just tweak. And like once you get into that role, like when I listen to music now, I almost kind of listen in like layers because I'm like trying to learn how to do it myself. Right. I have a big appreciation. When I listen to like rap song, I'm like, that's cool writing lyrics, that's dope. Like some of the beats are so simple, but EDM, a lot of it's so intricate. Technical. Like Flume's first album, the Skin album, it's like still to me one of the most impressive things I've ever heard because of how detailed it is, and it's his own sound.
Right. Yeah, I was saying like, and that's another thing too is it doesn't just stop there with EDM. It's not just the music that's technical. You look at artists like Dave Tipper, who does like a whole curated event like that. He's like so in depth to, and like I was saying too, like Shakes kind of does the same thing, like with doing his own visuals and stuff. But like Tipper has like visual artists that he wants like there for it, and like these artists like make a whole experience. Like Dave Tipper used to never use lasers at his show. It was all lights and visuals, and he always plays off to the side. Kind of like Maynard James Keenan Tool plays behind the band.
He's always like coming in and out.
Yeah,
yeah.
And so Tipper's always like off to the side. Well, at Secret Dreams, 2 years ago, there was like a super hellacious storm, and like my tent that I had for like 10 years, that's where it died. Like I mean, I'm talking, it was bad. Like so many shows canceled that last day. So the next year they did double sets for everybody that got canceled that day. And so, but like Tipper like finally like the storm stopped, and he was like the last to play because it was his festival type deal. Well, Papadocia and Tipper were like the headliners, but Tipper goes out there and like they couldn't fire up the LED wall, so you couldn't have visuals. but they ran lasers on the main stage, and so that was like the first Tipper laser set. Like, and so now, and it's crazy because they were almost making visuals with the lasers and the lights. And so now, like at Tipper Friends the following year, they did like a laser, like they popped up lasers for a second during a set, and everybody's like, "Wait, what?" Like, you know. But it was crazy because like we were out there, we're sitting there waiting for the storms to stop. And then all of a sudden, it was like the whole campground, like it just went across social media and stuff. Like my buddy comes in the tent and he's just like, Tipper's on in 15 minutes. And let's go. And I'm like, everybody's getting up. My clothes are soaked. I had one last pair of dry clothes that I hid in a bag. And I was like, I'll be there in a minute. They're just like, I was like, where you guys gonna be? They're like, stage left, so when you're viewing the stage to the right, like stage left, come find us. And I was like, okay, I'll be there. Like, and they all took off because they're trying to get the spot saved. And I'm like, like when they're yelling at me, I'm like naked in my tent, like throwing on boxers. And I was like, I'll just meet you guys there. And like they go in and I find our last bag of wine and our bottle of whiskey. And I'm like, cool, they're gonna need this. And one of our other friends was like, oh, I'm not gonna go. And I was like, get your ass up. We're going. And we're running. It's so cool because we're all running and the energy was wild because everybody in the campground, they're running, people are slipping and falling in mud. Like, and we're getting there and we show up and I show up like right when he's playing his first song. And like there's this way to go in through the RVs that put you like right at the front of the stage and on the right side stage left. And so I'm like walking up and I start carving through the crowd and I look and I see my buddy, he's tall with glasses and he's sitting there and the lights are just like hitting his face and he's just like, and like I'm walking up and I'm just like, there they are. And like I just pop a bag of wine and whiskey in his face. Everybody's like, yo, we made it just in time for the first song. And they're standing next to this trash can. And we're like, yo, let's move this trash can. The whole crowd worked together to get this trash can the fuck out of here. Like in a respectful way. Too. It wasn't just like, boom. Out my kids. Yeah, it's not ACDC concert. Yeah, no, and like everybody, I was like, and I just cracked a quick joke, and I was like, "You ain't got a wristband, you gotta go!" And like everybody, let's get him out of here! And like fucking, everybody's like laughing, throws trash can out, and we just danced, and it was great. It was one of the best fucking. That'd be one of my favorite memories there, and like. And then afterwards, walking back, everybody's just like high on the vibe, like just like woo, like we caught Tipper when we thought we weren't. And like it was cool because there's like on their main page, there's a picture from that year where there's a double rainbow. It was during the day, and somebody caught like a picture of it right when lightning was flashing through it.
I've seen this picture somewhere.
And it's Secret Dreams. So and like it was funny because everybody's high on the vibe, running back, and like I'm over here, like just like it's just treating like people are slipping through the mud and stuff. I was like, you just gotta treat it like you're skating, and like I'm just skating through mud, and yeah, exactly. And I'm like skating by people, and they're like, like people just going down. And then people have fun, they're like slip and slide, like it's something. But yeah, it was pretty cool. It was fun.
Yeah. Well, hopefully we'll hope for some more good vibes.
Actual
project.
Oh, absolutely.
In a couple of, you guys probably couldn't have drawn the weather any better for that. So shit,
perfect. Right before the fucking sun starts to cook Tennessee.
Yeah.
It's gonna be a hot summer.
Yeah.
We got a little taste of it a couple of days ago, and it's just like fucking walked outside. I was like opening the oven, microwave or something like.
Mid-April, you guys are gonna be perfect.
Oh yeah,
perfect, for sure.
It's not gonna be like Bonner, like you're standing in front of your air fryer when it's open, checking out fucking pizza rolls.
No, even if it gets a little hotter in the day, it'll still be.
I got the beer out on that one.
Y'all good? God, check everyone's tents, man. It's hot out here.
Oh shit. Well, real quick, Martine, where can people buy tickets at for Astral Project?
Just look up the Astral Project Festival on Instagram.
Okay. AstralProjectFestival.com?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, just at Astral Project Festival, Astral Project Music Festival. You can also look up Lucid Minds Entertainment. That's Lucid Minds with a Z Entertainment. They also have an Instagram handle. You can go on there. Up in the bio, click the link. You know the thing. If I can tell you what to do, there's a sale on RV passes right now. They went from 300 down to 150. So that's a cool thing. They don't have hookups or anything out there, but just come prepared. Fill up your water tank in the RV, so you have your own showers. Bring a generator, bring gas.
How much are day passes?
Day passes, I think they're running, like $80 or something like that. They're not too bad. And I think the actual whole festival ticket is at like 125, 150, something like that. But look on there, sign up for like notifications because they've been doing flash sales too. Like Valentine's Day, they did a buy one get one a couple of weeks ago. They did like a 25% off sale or something like that on tickets. They're like really trying to push and get the right people there. Like you know, even if you only know a couple of the artists or you don't know any of the artists, just come out for like the workshops, the disc golf tournament.
Look at a
Which is on,
playlist
I
on
think
the Insta-
Saturday or Sunday is the disc golf tournament. And then like there's also you know, the workshops, there's the art, they're gonna have fire performers, they're gonna have our homegirl Brandy, she's out there with her massage therapy booth and stuff like
Wow.
that too. So get a little self-care when you're at the festival.
Okay.
And yeah, it's just gonna be a good time all around.
Oh yeah, dude.
Good food
Everybody,
vendors, good art, good people.
go get your tickets today.
Absolutely.
Astro Project, Shorebound Distillery, Woodbury, Tennessee,
Yes, yes.
April 11th through 13th.
Yeah.
Astro Project Festival.com at
Festival
the
season
Astro
is
Project.
among us.
At the Astro
Yeah.
Project Music Festival.
Yeah, dude.
Instagram.
It's
Well,
a pleasure.
yeah, Martine, so glad
man.
to see you.
I love it too. Thanks for having me back, y'all.
absolutely, dude.
We'll have you back
Uh,
on soon.
This has been episode
96.
Oh wait, make sure to go follow us on Facebook and Instagram and Spotify.
If you want to get a hold of Martine,
Millennialistic.
just think about him.
Millennialistic, episode 96. We out
I'd like to
here.
begin.
Let's go.
What are the kids doing these days?
I'd like to begin with a fact.